Broadcasting live on the Fanatic app and YouTube channel. Here are your hosts, John Kincade and Andrew Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Now what do we do? Football's over. And it was a game yesterday.
Yeah, it was a game, all right.
Good Monday morning, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salciunas alongside my man, John Kincade. Johnny, happy day after Super Bowl for what felt like for 3 quarters a Thursday night Amazon Al Michaels game. I know the fourth quarter got some intrigue. New England scores a late touchdown just to make it look somewhat more reasonable.
Cosmetic.
Yeah, but the way the game played out was exactly the way we talked about it or did not talk about it for the 2 weeks leading up to it. How much Super Bowl content did we get into on this show? And I get it, the Eagles weren't in it, so there wasn't really much for us to talk about, but even nationally, the bigger storyline leading up to the actual Super Bowl was, will Giannis Antetokounmpo be traded? Like, that was the biggest storyline the week leading up to Super Bowl 60. Not even like 54, like 60. Yeah, an even number. The beginning of a new decade. And we got that game yesterday.
They gave San Francisco they gave them 50 and they gave them 60.
How about that?
And look, it was a snore fest. Let's be honest. It was a snore fest leading up to it, and it lived up to exactly what the expectations were. And it wasn't sour grapes. It wasn't anything.
No.
That game was exactly what America thought it was going to be. And a lot of times, America gets it wrong. A lot of times we get it wrong. We think something's going to suck, and it ends up being great. That game was as bad as we expected it to be.
Yeah.
And it was. It was terrible.
It was a boring
was
one.
horrible.
Like, the only thing for me when it came to the actual game was, all right, it would be nice for Sam Darnold. Like, that's a cool story. Sam Darnold, 5 teams in his career. We all know the Jets stuff, labeled a bust. Backup, has the ridiculous season in Minnesota. And then the Vikings decide to go with 9 over Sam Darnold. And then Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl. So that's a cool story. Like, 10 years from now, when we're getting prepared for Super Bowl 70, we'll talk about Super Bowl 60 and how great of a story it was that Sam Darnold had this crazy turnaround of his career and gets to the Super Bowl and wins it. But nobody's really going to be talking about the game. We'll just talk about the storyline of it.
No one's talking about that game ever again except if you're in Seattle.
Right.
Or New England, because you may talk about it as if Drake May never gets back to a Super Bowl, we're going to look back and we're going to say that was the worst. One of the worst. It is as bad a quarterbacking performance as I can ever remember. And I can remember Super Bowls in the teens.
Yeah.
That's what I'll tell you.
It was a learning experience for him. That's what Chris Collinsworth said at one point during the game. Drake May had he took a bad sack because he got sacked a lot yesterday. Chris Collinsworth drops it's a good learning experience for Drake May. And the first thing, when I heard him say that, I was like, learning experience? Imagine being a Patriots fan at home, right? You're stressed out of your mind, and you're listening to Chris Collinsworth call the Super Bowl a learning experience.
Well, Tirico did a good job.
He was fantastic.
Tirico's awesome.
I like Collinsworth, too. It's just you can't drop learning experience about a Super Bowl. This is week 4.
I said right before we came in, I think the coolest part of the night for me was Maria Taylor. She's the intern with us at my radio station in Atlanta. Her and Mike McDonald were classmates in high school.
Yeah, that's actually awesome.
And Maria Taylor becoming the first woman presenting the Super Bowl trophy, African-American woman presenting the Super Bowl trophy to Mike McDonald, her high school classmate.
Yeah, that's cool.
Imagine being at the high school lunch table. Well, I'm going to be the lead sportscaster for NBC presenting the Super Bowl trophy. Well, I'm going to win the Super Bowl as a coach. That was the craziest story to me, to think of the most 2 famous people out of one high school. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the storylines are storylines. They're not. It's not game breakdown.
No, the game stunk.
Like Sam Darnold was 19 of 38 for 202 yards and a touchdown. Drake May was worse, 27 of 43, 295, 2 touchdown passes and 2 picks. You know what I got out of this game?
What'd you get
yesterday?
An itch?
If we were to break down football from this game and talk about what we watched, I watched what Nick Sirianni wanted to do. What Seattle did.
You mean the turtle game?
Be very careful.
Right.
Don't turn the ball over. And look, it worked for Seattle. Rely on your defense. Run the football. Kenneth Walker, your MVP yesterday, 27 carries, 135 yards. It was run the ball, be safe, don't shoot yourselves in the foot, win the turnover battle. That what Nick Sirianni wants is what you watched Seattle do last night, and they won the freaking Super Bowl.
Funny thing is that as I'm watching it, you took something right off my notes that I wrote down. And I said, right there, I said, the only person that's liking this Seattle game plan
Prevent
is
offense.
Nick Sirianni.
The prevent offense.
Because that game sucked.
Yeah.
That was so bad. And there's nobody who was watching that game that was like, man, I am watching two great defenses go at it.
No.
No, you weren't.
No, you wanted to
were
be
not. Don't
entertained.
bluff yourself. Don't spin it that way. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was extremely bored watching that game yesterday.
Oh, my gosh, it was terrible.
Watched the first half with Coop. Halftime started, so it was time for bed. Coop was falling asleep. And you know what I did? Because this game was so boring.
What?
By the time I was done, potty, toothbrush.
Now, this is you or is this Coop?
This is Coop. Potty,
Okay.
brushing teeth, 2 books, rock, bed. I went back downstairs. The game was about to start again. I said, you know what? I'm not missing anything. I'm going to rewind and watch the halftime show. Because
Okay.
I wanted to say, because obviously it was a controversial halftime show for people.
Oh, yeah, it was real controversial.
So I wanted to watch it because I wanted to see, all right, how are people going to react on social media? But I want to actually watch it first. I went back and watched the halftime show as the second half was about to start. That's how boring that football game was yesterday, that I felt the need to go back and watch a halftime show because I figured there would be more discourse over the halftime show than the game itself. And you know what? I was right.
Well, there should have been no discourse about the halftime show.
No.
I mean, it was perfectly entertaining. I mean, I thought it was good, and it didn't move me either way, but I can tell you I certainly enjoyed it.
It was.
I certainly enjoyed it. It wasn't like it didn't like people. I heard people go, "That was the best I've ever seen."
So
not for me,
John. I knew how it was going to go. So you guys know I'm apolitical, right? I don't have a side in the race.
Right.
I make my decision on game day, right? It's like, you know what?
Sure.
It's like a coin flip. I'll make
You realize both teams are bad.
my
You
decision.
realize both teams are bad, much like it. Yes.
And I go, all right,
Exactly.
it's game day. I'll put in my vote. Like I'll
Right,
do it
exactly.
then. I knew that my friends who are one side will say, this sucks, because they said it was going to suck going into it.
Right.
I also knew my friends on the other side,
Greatest halftime show
greatest
ever,
halftime
man.
show ever, because they felt the need to say it.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there going, this is okay.
It was okay.
I was bopping my head.
Yes.
I was like, all right.
It was good.
That was it. How upset are you going to be over this? And how overly happy are you going to be over this? Because to me, it was okay.
People try to sell either side
Right.
side of that argument,
And you knew they were going
because
to.
I only was I was interested to see it, so I was very interested to see it, and I was telling people all week long, shut up.
Yeah,
I don't need to hear I never need to hear what you're not watching.
Yeah.
Like if you loved I don't know, Breaking Bad.
yes.
I never needed to hear from you to say, "Oh, that Breaking Bad sucks. I'm not watching it." I don't need to hear from you if you're not watching it.
All right. You don't
Like,
care.
I don't need to hear. You don't need to tell me what you're not watching. Don't need it.
Yeah.
So,
So it was, all around, it was a day. Like
It was definitely one of the Super Bowls of all time.
It was a Super Bowl. Like that. It was
a Super Bowl.
It was a Super Bowl.
Yes, it was one of 60.
I'm not going to, because it's Eagle related. It wasn't Super Bowl 52.
It wasn't Super Bowl 59 either.
Right. Where you can say
A tremendous performance between two great teams where one team unexpectedly beat down the other.
yeah. But like 52, like that goes down as, and we're lucky
One of
that
the
we were a
greatest.
part of it. Like that goes down as one of the greatest Super Bowls ever. And this was a day. And it was like, oh, today's February 9th. Let's turn the page to 2020.
I like what you said. That you stepped up and you said that it seemed like an Amazon Thursday night game.
yeah.
As I was sitting down in the Kincade, I was thinking to myself, wow. At one point, I didn't even usually, like my buddy Mark, who lives next door, I usually go like, hey, I'm going to be if we got nothing going on, I'll usually say, hey, come on
Yeah.
over. I'm going to be watching. If you're not doing anything,
you're
I'm gonna be
bored.
watching. I'm going to be watching. Well, I'll leave the front door unlocked. Come on down. I'll be watching. I even forgot to say that yesterday. And then I texted him around halftime, like, boy, last year it wasn't like this.
It was
Last year was different.
12-0 going into the fourth quarter.
It was
and
such
it
a
wasn't
snore
like
fest.
it wasn't like, man, that Seahawks defense is suffocating Drake May, and that's why it's 12-0. It was just bad football. It was Nick Sirianni prevent offense.
See, now, how many times yesterday did you watch? How many times did you look at that game, though, and say to yourself, what a wasted freaking opportunity 2026 was?
Yeah, I mean, look,
2025 was.
It was
a wasted
We talked about
opportunity.
this after the divisional rounds when we watched San Francisco lose 41-6 to Seattle, and we all kind of had the same thought of, oh my God, you couldn't beat that San Francisco team. Nobody's saying that they were going to make this run to the Super Bowl, but you watched the 49ers get absolutely obliterated the very next week. And my takeaway that Monday morning was, I'm angry. Like, I was angry that Monday after the divisional round.
And my takeaway is that the Eagles should have beaten the 49ers. There's no excuse for not beating the 49ers in that game. They wouldn't have had to go to Seattle because I don't think the Eagles would have gone to Seattle and won. That's just
I
me.
don't think so either.
I don't think they would have won. But they didn't have to. They would have gone to Chicago. And I absolutely believe the Eagles could have gone and beaten Chicago in Chicago. Do I know what would have happened? No. Could they have had a really good shot to do so? Yeah, I think they could have. And then the Rams could have beaten Seattle in Seattle. You never know. And so it could have happened. That game, you saw the NFC title game, could have happened. A lot of things could have happened, but the Eagles didn't take care of their business, and it just left a really bad taste in my mouth.
So you sent an interesting topic that I want to get into early today because, look, it's the day after the Super Bowl. If you want to react to Super Bowl Sunday, go for it.
Look what sad cup I'm drinking.
Yeah, I thought you were done with that kind of stuff.
No, my license plate is.
Oh,
but
okay.
this is just, I had to bring this today.
He's got the Super
It was
Bowl
a year ago
59
today for
Super
people.
Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl 59 champions.
So John was talking about how, not exactly 1 year ago today, or was it 1 year ago?
It's 1 year ago today.
Wow, 1 year
Today's
ago
the
today.
day. Yeah, today is the day.
That the Eagles going into the Super Bowl and then obviously winning the Super Bowl, we all felt joy after winning the Super Bowl, right?
We barely slept that Monday morning.
Yeah.
We had all barely slept. We were giddy as hell. We shared a joyous Monday like I'll never forget with our audience. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Whatever happy word you use, we all felt it.
It was a universal joy felt everywhere.
So you pitched an interesting topic. If you were to describe your emotions today in one word, what would it be?
One word. Because last year, my favorite word in the language is joyous because I think you got to find it. You got to find the joy in everything. But what one word would describe how you think about the Eagles today, 1 year later? And you're only allowed one word. No explanations to go with it. You just have to text one word. That's 610-632-0975. The YouTube crew I know can get in. They can follow directions. But what one word would you describe? Because a year ago, it was joy, happiness, elation. We felt when we woke up the Monday after the Super Bowl, it was intoxicating. It was unbelievable. Today, what one word is it? And I did not tell you my word.
No, you did not.
I did not tell you my word. I want to know your words.
All right. I will. I'll start. And this might surprise some people.
Okay.
But because the game ended yesterday, it's officially
Sure.
we're done.
We've turned the page.
Optimistic will be the word that I use.
Now, I did not expect that to be your word. But I did in my heart know that you weren't going to go to the end of the spectrum of bad words.
Yeah, look, last week on Friday, we sort of got into a mini conversation about the championship window. We didn't say, is the window closed? It's just how open is the window? Because there are still legitimate questions. The future of A.J. Brown, you'll hear from him later on this hour. Lane Johnson, does he decide to return? Landon Dickerson, does he decide to return? What if they both retire? That means you're trying to fill two spots on your offensive line, both all pros, one potential future Hall of Famer in Lane Johnson. So there's legitimate questions.
And your word is?
Optimistic. Because
with all of those things you just listed, how is optimistic your word?
I'll stand by what I said going into the playoffs, even though I said the Eagles had a 0% chance. There's no dominant team.
But they're going to fix all the things you just mentioned?
I think Lane Johnson's back. I will what Jeff McClain said in his podcast, even though he sort of led us down a trail of this could be bad.
Well, I think Jeff
he then eventually finished with, but I do believe he'll be back.
Okay, by the way, I was a little I got to tell you, I love Jeff. You know I love Jeff and I love his podcast and I tell everybody to listen to it all the time. I was a little disappointed with that. Because it was a little bit like here's the headline, and then listen to it and everything, and then at the end it's like, yeah, but I think he's coming back.
And then he said Landon Dickerson's
I know
a bigger question.
that's like the headline leading you down in deception.
Okay.
Because I do believe that I don't believe that's decided, but Jeff knows a ton.
Yeah.
So believe it.
And so I think Lane Johnson's back, and
Okay.
and I think the defense is still going to be very good.
Okay.
And I don't look at the NFC. Before we got on the air, ESPN was doing live programming overnight. Normally they just have the
Sports Center all night.
Sports Center all night with the rotating voices.
Correct.
And it's the 1 hour show that's just repeated. Because the Super Bowl happened, they continued to be live. And it was Q Myers and Mia O'Brien right before we started. And they're making their Super Bowl predictions. And everyone's saying the Rams. All right. Right?
They're all over the Rams.
Everybody's saying the Rams. I get it. The Rams have a lot of talent on offense. Their defense.
Everybody was saying the Rams this year too.
Right.
By the way.
Like, there's no team in the NFC where I'm going, oh, man, don't want to face them.
Connor, what's your word?
Uneasy.
All right.
I am very, very uneasy with where the Philadelphia Eagles are right now because there's so many questions roster-wise that some we didn't expect. The Lane Johnson thing, sure. The A.J. Brown, there's been smoke and probably fire all year when it comes to that storyline. But the Landon Dickerson thing is scary. How do you handle drafting when you have to shift your philosophy from, hey, build the defense young? Now you got to figure out how to sustain this offense. And that's just from a talent-wise. The other thing with Sean Mannion, and we're going to have plenty of time to talk about this between now and when next season starts. I feel like maybe the biggest weight carrier for the Sean Mannion hire is his name is not Kevin Patullo. There are question marks there. And there's positivity because of how bad the offense looked under Patullo, but I don't know what this guy's going to be. It's a young guy getting an opportunity, and we'll see what he could turn into. I also don't know how much I trust the dynamic between him and Sirianni. Will he get autonomy? Not fully, but how much will he get? And there's good signs with that, how they're letting him fill out his coaching staff and the way things have gone. But Jeff Stoutland walking away from the organization doesn't make me feel good. Like, I don't feel bad. Like, I'm not saying, oh, next year's going to be rough for the Eagles. But they are on some shifting sands right now, and I do not feel confident. So I'll go uneasy.
Your word. So Andrew goes optimistic. You go uneasy. And Connor, you are much more in the same end of the dictionary that I'm at. My word's anxious. And one of the things I hate feeling is anxious, and I don't tend to. I'm not somebody who suffers from anxiety, so I don't like it at all. I can't imagine those of you who suffer from it every day. It's a bad feeling for me. My word's anxious.
Okay.
Because there's too many question marks about a team that 1 year ago was walking off to confetti, that was in a sea of confetti, and 1 year later, they've got nothing but turmoil. And they have a lot of turmoil. And anyone who tries to spin it to you otherwise, tries to spin it to you as, oh, it's being made up, it's not there, it's there. That's why a guy like Jeff Stoutland says, Stout out. I'm done with this. I'm out. Because Nick Sirianni is marginalizing my talents, my responsibilities. So to me, I'm anxious. I hate being anxious. I like you look days in advance at a restaurant you're going to go to on a weekend to pick what you're going to eat. I'm 3 weeks out from a vacation. I'm already looking at planning everything out. You know, I do my envelopes, so I know I have the tips for the limo driver and all that kind of stuff. I already have that stuff planned out. I don't like being anxious. But this Eagles team has got me as anxious as I felt. And you're only anxious when there's expectations.
Sure.
You're not anxious when a team's 500 and you're wondering, can they make the playoffs? There's no anxiousness. The anxiousness is, don't tell me you're going to go from confetti 1 year to the mayhem of this year to then letting this thing slide away.
I mean, look, you're right. We've been talking about the future of Nick Sirianni.
Right.
There's a lot of talk of how does Jalen Hurts do in this offense, because there's talks that he doesn't like certain pre-snap motions and all that kind of stuff, and that's what Mannion and Grizzard do, right? Like, so we'll see. There are a lot of questions about this team. I just look at the state of the NFC first. That's where I'm going to start. And I watched the Super Bowl yesterday. I watched a lot of playoff games, and I just go, man, the Eagles should have won a playoff game. I'm not going to say that they should have been in the NFC Championship game or they should have been in the Super Bowl, but if they just had a semblance of an idea of offense, they're winning a playoff game. And that defense is not going away yet, the Eagles defense.
No, it's not going away.
All right, so
it's not. So those are 3 words. Anxious, optimistic, and uneasy.
I'm the happy guy today.
And
How
you
about
are
that?
the most, and the one thing is you rattled off the most concerns.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. You put optimistic and you rattled off the laundry list of concerns. It's amazing to me.
I wonder how much this year will be the last hurrah for a lot of people, right? With injury history,
Sure.
and futures and retirement, and all that kind of stuff.
There's
So
pressure, dude.
There's
pressure
there
this year.
absolutely is. All right, so one word to describe your emotions about the Eagles today, the day after the Super Bowl, 1 year removed from Super Bowl 59. And now that we can officially turn the page to 2026 and the 26-27 season for the Eagles. 610-632-0975. Now, coming up next, Super Bowl isn't all about the game. We know it. Radio Row's crazy, but you can get some nuggets out of it. A.J. Brown spoke on a few podcasts. Did we get any idea of his future in Philadelphia? We'll discuss it next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Football season comes to a close. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are officially no longer the reigning Super Bowl champions as Seattle took home the Lombardi last night. A 29-13 final from Santa Clara saw the Seahawks crowned champs. Kenneth Walker named the MVP, first running back since 1998 to win that honor. Now the NFL offseason begins in earnest as the Eagles try and find their way back. We'll keep you updated as they continue to fill out the rest of their coaching staff, begin to look at roster moves, all the stuff that comes with the NFL offseason actually getting going. Now, hey, our attention swings a little bit. Basketball, hockey, the Flyers on the Olympic break, but the Sixers took down the Suns on Saturday, continuing a strong West Coast swing. They have their final game of that road trip tonight at 10 p.m. in Portland against the Trailblazers. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Tyrese Maxey was already named an All-Star starter. It was announced over the weekend he will also be participating in the three-point competition during All-Star weekend. The Sixers have 2 more games till they hit that All-Star break. We're going to talk to Zach Berman coming up at 8:05 The Athletic. Little breakdown of what maybe we saw from Seattle last night that we could look for in Sean Mannion's offense next year in Philadelphia. This update is brought to you by our friends at TireRack.com. Rain or shine, drive with confidence on Verdestin tires from Tire Rack. Verdestin tires deliver precision handling, dependable traction, and quiet comfort. Ship fast and free with 2 years of free road hazard protection. Check out TireRack.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
and the Fanatic app.
This hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
It is 6:30 on this Monday morning here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The day after the Super Bowl, now we can officially turn the page to the 2026-2027 season. I just saw on Twitter, and later on in the show, we're actually going to do this for like a Philadelphia-related segment, but like the what's next, the key dates, especially here in this city, because we got the World Cup, we got the All-Star game,
so much
and
coming,
all kinds of stuff. I told you I was at the auto show last week. There was a big section for the All-Star game, like enter to win tickets and all this kind of stuff. So the city of Philadelphia is going to be on the map. But in terms of football key dates, we are 8 days away from teams being able to designate franchise or transition players. So February 17th through the March 3rd. February 23rd will be the NFL Combine. March 9th, the most hilarious day of the year, legal tampering period.
Yeah, the biggest oxymoron in sports potentially. Legal tampering.
Legal tampering, baby.
Which is illegal, but we let you know that it's legal to be illegal.
That is 1 month from today, and then 1 month and 2 days will be the start of the new league year, March 11th. The league that never sleeps. So we are a month away from legal tampering, which means we are a month away from really finding out the future of this roster and many other rosters around the National Football League. What is one word to describe your emotions today following the Super Bowl? Last year, as John said, we were joyous, or whatever word you want to use, whatever synonym you want to use when it comes to joyous. We were all feeling it last year.
Now, if we did a scale, and you're on a chart here, and it was you're at optimistic, Connor's at uneasy, I'm at anxious. I think uneasy and anxious are right around the same place on the scale.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I wonder how many people would go north of Andrew on the positivity scale, north of optimistic, and I wonder how many people are going south of us at uneasy and anxious.
I think more people will be optimistic.
I think uneasy is south of anxious, to me.
Yeah,
sure.
I agree.
Because uneasy doesn't really say one or the other. It's just that I hate not knowing.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to have plans. I don't want to do no plans.
I think more people will be optimistic because, you've dealt with the reaction all season and all off season.
Sure.
Off season for the Eagles, that it's not that bad. Stop making too much of things and all that kind of stuff. So I would imagine more people are optimistic.
People are making stuff up.
Do we have any text messages yet on that? You can text the show at 610-632-0975, and then you're going to hear from A.J. Brown, because A.J. Brown...
Oh, he spoke.
A lot of people did.
Okay.
He was at Radio Row and
That's
spoke about the
interesting.
Philadelphia Eagles. What do we got on the text line, Connor, so far this morning?
So Mo in Horsham checks out, and he says one word: elated. The window is open. Go Birds. So he's on the positive end of the
north
spectrum.
of optimistic.
Okay,
I'm
that's
not
way
elated.
north. Okay, wait a minute. How can you be elated today?
Probably watching the two teams yesterday and going, the Eagles can beat these teams.
You're talking about the Eagles. So if you're talking about it this morning, how are you elated with what the Eagles, what you're at this morning?
Well, maybe he's a big Sean Mannion fan.
He didn't know Sean Mannion's name.
I don't know.
3 weeks. Get out of here.
Maybe Mo's a big Sean Mannion fan.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Why
He didn't know Sean Mannion's name 3 weeks ago.
That could be his cousin for all I know.
He didn't know
You
Sean
you
Mannion's
know.
name.
You don't know
could be
Sean
Mo
Mannion's
Mannion.
family. Yeah, exactly. You don't know his family members.
Yes.
All right, A.J. Brown.
Oh.
We'll start with the Phillies home. Here was A.J. Brown. Was this with Micah, or was this with the New England Patriots Cats? Do you know?
I believe it was the Patriots one.
All right. Julian Edelman and Gronk, right? I think was the Patriots. I don't know the name of the podcast. Sorry,
Nice to see him doing
there's
so much talking.
There's so many
Yes.
freaking podcasts out there. One had Gronk and Julian Edelman. The other one had Micah Parsons. That's the Bleacher Report one. But here's A.J. Brown with Gronk and Julian Edelman talking about Philadelphia.
When I got to Philly, man, Philly welcomed me with open arms. That's home, man, and I love them. I love the support. I love the accountability. I love everything else that they do. It just Philly is Philly. You have to be there to understand. You from there, so you understand. Like,
All right. That doesn't really tell me anything.
No, it doesn't tell you anything.
Philly's home. And I hope it continues to be home.
We all do.
For A.J. Brown.
We all hope that his talents are here. Well, let's put it this way. I'm in a different camp than you. I hope it is if he decides to be a motivated player.
Sure, I know.
If he decides to not be a grumpy Gus and I'm going to mope around and I'm not going to, by the way, give full effort. That's what I don't want that A.J. Brown. I want the A.J. Brown that we saw all the other years that he's been here.
Well, maybe with a new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion. Maybe he's really excited to play for Sean Mannion. But before he goes, he doesn't want to take any shots at KP.
As an offense, we just come back and just really watch the tape and just, like I said earlier, rediscover ourselves and go to work each and every day, being accountable and just taking one day at a time. We have great leaders in our locker room. I'm fortunate to be a part of that, especially on offense. And we do have a lot of talent, but talent gets us nowhere.
Facts.
So it's all about being detailed and being disciplined.
Is there excitement with some of the new coaches y'all got in?
Yeah. Of course, yeah. I'm always excited. Sometimes change is not a bad thing. I have the utmost respect for KP. He to me, did a tremendous job, and he has a great heart. But I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for what's to come.
All right, so that was, by the way, the Micah's podcast on Bleacher.
By the way, nothing that he says. Do you notice how he spoke? Nothing that he says I'm excited about. Change is sometimes really good. I'm excited about the season to come. I'm excited about it. He didn't say about it here.
Yeah, but change is also OC.
And he says that
there is a change at OC.
I love KP. KP did a tremendous job. Bull crap.
Yeah, he's, what do you want him to say?
Well,
he sucks.
That certainly wasn't what he was doing behind the scenes about it.
Yeah, but
I'm
not surprised that on a podcast on Radio Row, where a lot of people are going to see what is A.J. Brown going to say that he's something.
You don't have to say that. Just go. How about it's not? You act like there's no middle ground. You act like you have to. Everyone always goes to the point, the cliche of, well, what do you expect him to say? He sucked? No, you can just say, we really underachieved this year. That's why you're seeing a lot of change in Philly. We all underachieved this year. We disappointed ourselves. We disappointed our fan base. It was bad, and we need to be better. He did a tremendous job. Bull crap.
Yeah, I know.
I know. You don't have to say.
We all know it's bull crap.
But you don't have to go to. He did a tremendous job. You don't have to do that. Tell us the truth. You don't have to tell us he sucked either. There is a middle ground. There's a middle ground where you can get to the truth and say, yeah, you know what? Make it a collective we. We stunk. We shouldn't be 30th and 31st in passing. We shouldn't be at the bottom of the league in offense.
He did say at one point that talent doesn't mean squat, which that was my big takeaway from 2023. Talent doesn't always prevail. If you have bad coaching, you have bad coaching.
Notice he didn't say anything about giving 100% on your pass routes. Really trying your hardest on every single snap. Getting out there and really working hard on every play. That didn't make the conversation, which was interesting to me. I was waiting to hear some of that stuff.
I'm not surprised by anything that was said.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised either. I just think that self-awareness would be a really good thing. If you're going to do one of these, end of season things, I think self-awareness would be great. Really giving it your all. And, really putting it out there when you had a chance to win another Super Bowl.
Now, just so people know, obviously during Radio Row, there's also millions and millions of reporters that are there.
Sure.
Diana Rossini, I know, is still standing on her reports that he will not be coming back. I know she dropped I think it was with Mike Gill and his station in AC. It could be fixed. Anything can be fixed, kind of like what Shefty said to us a couple weeks ago. Anything can be fixed. But she is standing on her report that she does not believe that he is going to be back next season. And
I don't think it sounded like Shefty believes he's back.
Yeah. So, it sucks because I want him back. A.J. Brown
would love it back.
Makes this football team better. He does. Now, there's going to be some interesting conversations as we get further into the offseason when there's more and more, smoke about what you would trade him for if you are on board with trading A.J. Brown, because you had a team last night, we've been talking about it a lot, in New England, where A.J. Brown has interest in. A.J. Brown loves Mike Vrabel, and man, do they need a wide receiver.
Can I ask you just the question, though? And I'll ask you both. Did A.J. Brown make this team better last year?
No, not many people did.
No, I'd agree with you, but A.J. Brown didn't. So when I hear that, well, A.J. Brown makes this team better. And by the way, A.J. Brown of the first 3 years that we saw him here, he absolutely makes this team great. But I didn't see that A.J. Brown. He didn't give us that A.J. Brown.
He didn't give us that A.J. Brown. But if the question is, did he make this team better? I got to say yes. I mean, he was 1,000-yard receiver this last year.
I think they could have been bottom of the league in offense without him. They could have put up those kind of numbers without him.
Right.
They could be down. I am fully confident they could be down with the Tennessee Titans and the New York Jets in offense without A.J. Brown on the roster. You could give Sean Mannion no A.J. Brown, and he could produce an offense that would be down with the Tennessee Titans and the New York Jets.
Yeah, I just not even the numbers, just watching the team. You take away that talent, even though it wasn't his best year and the effort is questioned and all of that stuff. Without AJ, who knows what it looks like.
Well, did Saquon make the Eagles better last year? No.
But what I'm saying is that you can be at the bottom of the league without A.J. Brown.
I got you.
They were bottom of the league with him.
There was one player on offense that I was happy about. It was Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert was amazing.
And Tank Bigsby. Those are the only two players where you were like, all right, nice.
Look,
we had that last year.
That's great.
Everything else sucked.
Yeah.
All right. Well, coming up next, we'll check our text line on our topic so far this morning, 610-632-0975. But people were big mad when something happened yesterday. And no, I'm not talking about the halftime show.
I think that got much less than I expected it to.
You know.
By the way, sort of like Kid Rock's concert.
You know.
Got much less than
there was a player honored yesterday that made a lot of people upset. Not here, though. Well, maybe there are some of you out there. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Phillies will be in Clearwater. now.
It is 6:47 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We are going to get to the text line here momentarily. But yesterday, a lot of people around the country were upset, Johnny.
Well, there was a lot of people upset about a lot of stupid stuff in the last week.
But it had nothing to do with the Super Bowl halftime show.
What was that?
'Cause you knew that would be it.
Well, I knew that was going to be talked about. That's one of the reasons I just had to keep away from Facebook.
How about Jalen Hurts being a member of the legends that were honored yesterday?
That sounds like a
Super
DNA
Bowl
thing.
60.
That was awesome.
I know. I think it's
Why were
awesome.
people mad about it?
Oh, you know why people are
You know
mad
why
at
people
it.
are mad about it? They think Jalen Hurts is like a tush-push merchant, doesn't do anything. Meanwhile,
No, but I mean, are you talking about people that we care about here? We're mad about it?
no, it's all over the place. Why is Jalen Hurts in this photo?
shut
Is what I saw a million times yesterday. Peyton, Brady, Montana,
Eli Manning?
Young,
Eli
Eli.
Manning was there. Are you kidding me?
Emmett.
Jalen Hurts and Eli Manning? Did you watch the games? Eli Manning's in the picture. If you're offended by Jalen Hurts being in the picture, watch the games.
Right.
Eli Manning is a 500 quarterback. Come on.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, whether people want to admit it or not, has played two of the better games in Super Bowl history.
Correct.
It puts him in that conversation. I know there are a lot of people that think he's only there because of this and that, needs a great offensive line, needs great wide receivers. Well, he makes the most of it. I'm trying to.
Who else is in that picture? Brady,
Peyton Brady,
Brady.
Stephen Young, Joe.
Yeah, you know what they had?
Stephen Young, Joe Montana.
You know what they had?
full
Great
government.
You know what they had? Great offensive lines. Everyone you just mentioned had great offensive lines.
Right.
So that's interesting. So do they not hold those quarterbacks to that standard?
No, probably not.
Oh, okay.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Was Jalen the only active player?
Yes.
Yes,
He was
that-
the only
that was
active
in there.
one.
That's probably another big part of why the reaction was what it was.
Well, if you're going to do Super Bowl, who do you do?
Well, here's the
Of
deal.
active players.
I saw a really interesting article. The Ringer sometimes gets things totally wrong. Sometimes you go, all right,
okay.
interesting content. And there's this guy, Steven Ruiz, who he gets in a lot of hot water on social media often, but he did an article of the 50 best Super Bowl performances by quarterbacks. So from the best to the 50th best. So we're toward the bottom here. And do you know that Jalen Hurts, both of his Super Bowls are considered, and he used statistics. It's not. This isn't an opinion.
Where did he
piece.
put Jalen's?
Jalen, let's see here. Nick Foles, by the way, was second all time. Second
Well, it
best
was
Super Bowl
fantastic.
performance ever.
Was Brady's 40 was the best in the loss?
Oh, what, in that loss? No, Mahomes against the Eagles in 22. I don't know how that is.
I don't know how that is. That's ridiculous.
It's statistics based.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I don't know how.
He was outplayed by Hurts.
I agree. Hurts's this past Super Bowl 59, is considered the fourth best ever in the history of the NFL, and the one in 2022 where they lost to the Chiefs, seventh. So
Where was Brady
statistically-
52? Because Brady 52 might have been the greatest.
Fifth.
Okay.
Fifth best performance ever.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
I don't know what drops from the fifth,
Wow.
but
I
fifth.
mean, that was
But
amazing.
Shouldn't have fumbled, loser.
yeah, point I'm trying to get at is Jalen Hurts and his two performances statistically, all right, not opinionated, statistically, are in the top 10 best performances in the history of the Super Bowl.
And
That's why he's in that picture.
By the way, too, Pat Mahomes could not travel. Was not traveling for the event.
Yeah, I mean, he should be
that's
in
the
it.
only-
He obviously
Mahomes
should
could
be in it,
easily
too.
have been there.
Yeah.
But Mahomes is not traveling in his post-rehab and everything like that, so he's not traveling.
Yep. All right. What do we got on the text line, Connor? It's 610-632-0975. Good for Jalen Hurts. By the way, he looked happier than ever the last couple of weeks. Very happy.
How does that make you feel?
Totally different person.
How does that make you feel?
Almost like, oh my God, the season ended. Thank God.
Yes.
I feel like
Almost like Patullo's gone and the head coach has been knocked down a peg or two.
yeah.
Boy, I'm happy.
Hey, you know what?
And I don't blame him.
I know. I feel the exact same
I
way.
don't blame
I'm not
him.
going to lie. I feel.
Jalen, we got the same smile on our faces, too. We don't know how the hell it ever happened.
All right. What do we got on the text line?
Mike from Turnersville gives his one word, and he says apoplectic. So he's even further on the negative side
about
than
that?
uneasy or anxious.
I can understand it. I can understand it because apoplectic can be fixed. He can be fixed. It doesn't mean that he's like that. That can be fixed by he gets the word today. He gets the word in the next 2 weeks that Lane's coming back. He gets the word in the next 2 weeks that, or before free agency. Because look, it's 4 weeks till free agency or so.
We are 1 month away from legal tampering.
So 4 weeks from
March
today,
9th.
tampering begins. 4 weeks. So to me, he gets word in the next 4 weeks. We'll get word in the next 4 weeks about Dickerson and Johnson. He gets good news on those. Apoplectic goes to going, whew.
Yeah.
I think every one of us would exhale big time.
I think your anxiousness, your word, anxious, is probably the best one that will be used today, even though I'm optimistic, but anxious because you don't know.
No, I mean, I'm anxious because I don't like not knowing.
Think about this for a second. There's such a huge difference between drafting the eventual replacement and drafting the starter. If Lane Johnson
Completely
and
different.
Landon Dickerson both decide today, we are retiring from the sport of football, you have to draft the right tackle and draft the left guard, or you could obviously sign somebody. Which
free agency.
the Eagles have done that with Jason Peters and John Runyon.
I would imagine that they will go free agency or trade route to at least one of them and one backup.
Right.
There's going to be 2 offensive linemen are coming in here via free agency and trade. They have to, or trade. They have to bring in veterans.
But if Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson today say we are returning, you go, all right, you still got to draft the eventual replacements of these guys. You have to. At least right tackle, because I think guard, we've seen guard Brandon Brooks, right? We've seen
Sure.
the Eagles acquire guards, through free agency, through trades in the past. If they decide they're come back, I think a lot of people's mindset shifts more
No
positive.
question. It does. And does Jalen being as smiley as he was with everybody tell you anything?
No.
No?
No, I think he was just enjoying a stress-free
Well,
environment.
I'm glad, and I hope – and by the way, I hope he is. Hope that's how he's feeling.
Let's not act like being the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles doesn't take a couple of years off your life.
Yeah, he's like your coworker where at work they're always head buried in the computer doing their thing, and then you see them at the work happy hour, and they're like, oh, you can have fun?
Yeah, I know.
think he's just out of
I
the
know a couple
office.
people like that. Yeah, it's
It's like, okay, you can unwind.
yeah.
The be happy, though, the one I would say, though, is this weekend, just Landon closer to being out the door, I believe, than Lane. And that is scary to me.
It is scary.
That's scary to
It
me.
absolutely is. All right, coming up next, we reacted all day on Friday. And then we had to hear the explanation of the trade of Jared McCain. And Daryl Morey said exactly what I feared. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Seattle wins Super Bowl 60. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are officially no longer the reigning Super Bowl champions. Seattle takes home the Lombardi last night in Santa Clara, 29-13 final as they completely stifled Drake May and the Patriots. Kenneth Walker was named the MVP for the Seahawks, the first running back since 1998 to win that honor. Now the NFL offseason begins in earnest as the Eagles, they're trying to find their way back to the big game. We'll keep you updated as they continue to fill out the rest of their coaching staff and begin to look at roster moves. The Sixers focus on them now because football season has come to an end. They took down the Suns on Saturday, continuing a strong West Coast swing. They have their final game of that road trip tonight at 10 p.m. in Portland against the Trailblazers. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. Tyrese Maxey, who has already been named an All-Star starter, announced over the weekend that he will be participating in the three-point competition during All-Star weekend as well. The Sixers have 2 more games until they hit that All-Star break. We're going to talk to Zach Berman of The Athletic coming up at 8:05. An interesting write-up in The Athletic about the crossover between Seattle's offensive scheme this year and what Sean Mannion could run with the Eagles. So we'll see what we could be looking forward to. This update is brought to you by NJM Insurance. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It is 6:59 on this Monday morning here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Happy new week. Happy new league year soon. 1 month from today, legal tampering begins, the league that never sleeps. But, of course, we also have our winter sports teams in action. We have our Philadelphia Flyers not playing because we got the Olympics. They're back on the 25th. So later on, again, in the show, we'll do the key dates. Flyers hockey resumes on February 25th because the Olympics are beginning, by the way, horrible for Lindsey Vonn.
Oh, my
After
gosh.
we just celebrated on Friday with Amy, just the courage after tearing her ACL and then the workout videos that came out, and then she did the trial run. And she got through it. And we're all like, how the hell is this possible? And then she had the horrible crash.
That was
literally later. It was Friday, right? Wasn't it later that day? Or was it Saturday?
It was Saturday.
Saturday. All right. Saturday, she has the horrible crash.
That was unreal. And she's incredible.
Yeah, just the fact that she tried, is unbelievable.
She's absolutely incredible.
So obviously Winter Olympics going on. That's why the Flyers are not in action or anybody in the NHL. Sixers, they win on Saturday against the Suns 109-103 on the never-ending West Coast trip that they're on right now.
I like I retweeted it yesterday. It's like Winter Olympians. I've ruptured my ACL, but I'm still going to ski 80 miles downhill of ice. I broke my arm, but I'm still going to jump 30 feet in the air on my snowboard. NBA players. I played yesterday.
Yeah.
I got to take today off.
That's pretty much how
and
it
goes.
is
The truth.
Sixers 3-1 so far on their West Coast road trip. They have one more game, and that's tonight in Portland against the Trailblazers. So
what a West Coast trip, though.
Yeah,
and
great.
You know what? And look, I said it to you earlier. Congratulations, because it matters. The West Coast trips suck whether the teams out there are down or not. And they're down.
Yeah.
They're down. But it's still, you go out there, it's congratulations.
And by the way,
well.
they've been playing well even with Paul George's suspension going on. Nothing's changed in the Eastern Conference. They're still a game back of the Raptors for the 5th seed, but they've now gained ground on Orlando. The Magic are currently the 7th seed. They have a 2.5-game lead over the Magic, which is important because you don't want the Sixers playing in a play-in game or the play-in games.
No.
You just want them to have a seed, and you know that they're going to be playing a best-of-7 first-round series. So starting to pull away from Orlando a little bit, still early in the season, right? They've played 52 games. There's still 30 games left in the season, but positive signs that they've been playing well, even with Paul George out. And then, of course, Jared McCain no longer on the Sixers roster. And so Friday we reacted to it, but we also were waiting for the Daryl Morey press conference. And I hated pretty much every second of it. Like, it
was bad.
You can tell me all you want about flexibility down the road, but Daryl Morey admitted to something that we talked about on this show Friday. We all knew when the trade happened Thursday, there's got to be something else, right? Well, not all, because a lot of people believed it was just to get under the tax, which, who knows? People are also questioning how real was Daryl Morey being during the press conference. Was he just saying the stuff that he was saying when all along they were told to get under the tax? Well, here was Daryl Morey admitting to everybody that there was supposed to be a move after the trade of Jared McCain.
Obviously, the big move was with Jared. Because we're playing well, we were trying to upgrade the team and add to the team now. That was goal number one. Obviously, no deal materialized, including using the picks we got from the Jared deal. That's why we did that move a little early. We're trying to reuse those draft picks to add now.
Do you know how bad that is?
That's BS. That's BS. I don't know how many general managers in my career that I've known and I've gotten to know well.
Yeah.
They do not make moves saying, we're going to go get picks in anticipation of wanting to make another deal. They go and make contingent deals saying, I'm making this deal. Is this deal in place? Okay. I'm going to make this deal.
Yeah.
And then the deals are almost concurrently announced.
Or there's 3-team deals or
Right.
4-team deals so that those picks do get moved in other directions. But if it's true,
Daryl got told, go out and do a press conference, Daryl.
Go
do a press conference.
By the
Daryl.
way, that's nothing new with the Sixers.
No, Daryl, you go take the
poor
bullet.
Brett Brown for years.
You go take
for
the
Sam
bullet.
Hinkie.
Yeah, you go take the bullet for all of us, Daryl.
But if it's true, let's take him at his word
Then
that means he completely misread the entire market, misread everything, that they were going to use the picks that they acquired for Jared McCain to make the team better, and they couldn't find a move. And so now he's just going to tell you, but we still have those in our holster for the draft or early on in the summer, because I know he was pushing that as well, that he could use the picks early on.
I don't believe that Daryl Morey's stupid. So, no, I don't believe what Daryl Morey said, because I don't believe Daryl Morey's stupid. I believe he's a smart executive. So I don't believe that for 1 second, that he made a deal going, yeah, there's another deal coming. He didn't say that he made the deal for the summer. He said he made the deal anticipating being able to flip them to do something to improve this year's club.
Yeah.
Yeah, good club.
Good club.
Good club.
And then, of course, a lot of questions was about the anger and the vitriol and the pushback from Sixers fans because, look, there were some people that were, I think, over the top with their love of Jared McCain, but I thought it was I feel like the majority of the reaction was very honest, right? This is a guy that we like. There's no need to trade him. There's no, you have to make this move. The only real reason why you would think they made the move was to get under the tax, or if Daryl Morey is speaking the truth, to then flip those picks for something else, and then he just completely misread the market. So here's Daryl Morey talking about how he understands how we all feel.
I understand the reaction that we didn't add. But I feel like if folks were excited about the team before, the same group that they were excited about before is going out there. Obviously, save Jared, but we feel like with Watford and other guys stepping up that, we can not miss a beat with the players we have on the roster.
Here's the big thing, Daryl, that you're missing. You can be excited for a group up until a trade deadline. Hello. What have we been talking about with the Phillies the last 3 years? We've been excited going into seasons, going, wow, look at this roster.
Sure.
They have a good club. They have a good roster. But what are they going to do at the deadline to improve it? Are they going to get the right-handed bat that they so desperately have needed for years? And then when Dave Dombrowski doesn't make some moves, we then react the day after. We say the same thing. They're still a good team, but, man, they really needed this outfielder. Or, man, they really needed this bullpen arm. David Robertson wasn't enough. Man, they really needed a starting pitcher back end of the rotation. We've had the same conversation for years. You can be excited about a team and expect at the trade deadline for you to do something. So, yeah, the Sixers have continued to win post-trade deadline. But is anybody sitting here today saying that they are favorites or top two favorites to contend for the NBA championship right now? No.
Are they a better team than they were before the trade deadline?
They are not a better team right now.
They're not a better team than they were before the trade deadline.
Hang on, though. Was there any move that was expected short of Giannis, which was a pipe dream that we all said no to, that was going to make them like a top 2 NBA contender in the East?
No,
but there could have been something that made them better.
Sure. I'm talking to someone on your right over there, Johnny, who said he didn't want him to do anything.
I didn't want them to do anything. And I don't know how many times I have to say this, Connor. I'm about to go in there and smack you.
I don't think that's needed.
When they traded Jared McCain, that changed everything. Because now you're going, all right, you acquired picks because you moved on from one of your assets that you think this isn't going to work for us. He straight up said in his press conference that we believe we sold high on Jared McCain. Which, by the way, that was an unnecessary shot.
Seriously.
But he talks about that, and I'm going, all right, well, now you took away from your depth at guard, because what if there's a tweak somewhere, an ankle? And I'm not even talking about Maxey Edgecombe. What if Quentin Grimes gets hurt? Kyle Lowry is your guard right now. Kyle Lowry's your first guy.
No, I get you.
And the way they talk about Quentin Grimes.
Right.
But this is already a team that we're looking at. They're currently the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, and we're hoping that they can hold enough together to stay out of the play-in game. We're not talking about finals for this team.
Well, hold on a second. We're hoping that they hold off from falling into a play-in, but you can also, if you are a positive person, say, wow, they're only 2 games behind the Cavs for the 4 seed, or a game and a half behind the Cavs for the 4 seed. They are 3.5 back of the 2 seed.
Sure, but don't even worry about the seeding for a second, right? Because the Eastern Conference is tight with the seeding, and it can be very open. But just think about all the stuff that would have to go right for this team to get out of the second round with a team that doesn't have as good of an opportunity as previous teams for an organization that has not been able to do.
Yeah, but the Eastern Conference is just like the NFC. It's there's no team where I'm like, oh, man, this is going to suck. And the big difference for the Sixers and Eagles for me is I saw this is why the Eagles are going to lose. This offense is so bad. There is nothing about the Sixers other than the impending doom that is Joel Embiid's knee that I go, this is why they're not going to win a playoff series. Like, the Sixers could beat anybody.
The Sixers could beat anybody. Yes.
And
they could, but they're not going to beat. I don't believe the Sixers are beating 3 anybodies.
Sure.
Exactly. And so they make a move that, sure, they're not a better team post-trade deadline, but I think it was a little bit presumptuous to say, hey, they were going to do something that pushes them further into contention. I understand why the McCain move sets you up to think that way, and that's totally fair. But if we are where we were before the trade deadline with this team, it's a fun story. They're a nice team. We hope to make the playoffs. We'll see what happens. I don't think that's hey, you got to go improve this team. You compared them to the Phillies. That's not a fair comparison.
Yeah, it's not, because the Phillies are a team that actually has done something.
Yeah, but I don't know. I sat there going, all right, what can you do to improve this? I wasn't.
You're not looking to have them improve. We weren't looking to have them improve to go win a title this year. But improve the roster.
Give me hope.
If you're getting rid of Jared McCain, do something that's going to improve the roster. Don't do something that isn't.
The give me hope thing's unfair. You still have hope. You have the number 3 overall pick who's having an exceptional rookie season. You have a 25-year-old all-star starter in Tyrese Maxey.
And they're all playing 40 minutes of freaking night.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I've been calling it all, and it's going to come down. Connor, this is going to come down to this. And it's something that we always have to come back to, you and I. Stuff doesn't matter till it matters. Yeah, and it always comes to all the stuff with the Phillies is like the Phillies play crappy defense, don't run the bases well, don't have situational hitting, and it's like, yeah, but they're winning 90-some games. They're right there. It doesn't matter till it matters. Yeah, and we see it every year. The Sixers running their players into the ground is going to matter at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. For this season, and then they're going to get an off season, and then they're going to hopefully retool the roster. Like, Tyrese Maxey's career is not going to end at 27 because he played 40 minutes.
No, but we're talking about this year as to how optimistic we are. There were things that could have been done to maybe small moves that could help this team this year to have a better chance to have to actually get out of a second round.
By the way, it's also unfortunate that I will ask the question, Connor. Will you put down any bit of money in your the money that you did not win on the coin flip?
Joe Montana, you're in trouble.
Would you put any bit of money on Joel Embiid staying healthy for a second straight season?
No, I wouldn't put any bit of money on Joel Embiid being healthy for this season.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. And so, unfortunately, you're not striking when you may have your best chance right now.
This is the year where it's all lined up for you right now, and you're not doing it.
This ain't the year.
This is the year. This is the year for Embiid to be healthy. This is your best shot, because betting on him to be healthy next year, that's a complete gamble.
Yeah, I'm not betting on it at all. He's on this team, and they're not going to move him, and he's under big contract, which looks like a mistake now, but
it was a total mistake.
Here's the thing. I've long been on this side since the season started. I'm not playing for this year. And they didn't kill any chance to continue to improve this roster going forward.
Well, if you're not playing for this year and you're not going to do anything to improve it, then they should have traded Embiid.
Yeah, listen, yes.
Okay, so then you just said, but you were against that, I thought.
I'm personally against that because I like the guy being on the basketball team. But I get that.
But that's counter to what you're saying.
I know. My point is this. This is going to be I have a zero emotional investment in this basketball team. I have no expectations for them to have significant postseason success. Maybe win a series. And that's it. And nothing they were going to do at the trade deadline was going to change that ceiling for me. And they did nothing to change that floor. So in this year, they are where they are.
Then they should have traded Embiid. You should have traded Embiid. You should, because you have no expectations. You don't think they have anything. They're not going anywhere. So they should have gotten rid of that albatross of a contract when they could have had somebody to do it.
It kind of does feel that way. Now, I wouldn't have done it. You know that.
No, I understand.
Right.
And Connor has said he wouldn't have done it, so I'm just very confused.
It is
you're just keeping him around for feelings?
Yeah, exactly.
But that makes no sense.
It makes total sense. We like the guy.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. You're trying to win.
It doesn't help your team.
Feelings doesn't mean anything. I think a lot of people are just doubling down, going, I felt this way about Joel Embiid.
No, but doubling down would be continuing to make moves to try to give them the best chance to win.
They don't get to do that. They're just doubling down, going, keep Embiid, because I want to be proven right that Embiid was I kept having the faith in Embiid that it's the right thing to do. I've been very pleased with Embiid this year, and I've been very proud of him, and I've applauded for him. But for the majority of his career, I've been extremely disappointed. So it's like I would absolutely have moved on.
I think that's totally logical.
Well-
I'm just not being logical with this, and I can admit that.
Well, there's one more clip, and maybe this. I think this explains why you feel the way that you feel.
We feel like we're a deep team. Again, people might not agree, but we do feel like a deep team. In fact, there are many people who are writing that we were a deep team. So it wasn't just our opinion. I do think Nick is is using our players in an optimal way to win games. For sure, you always want more good players than bad players. We still have 2 roster spots. We'll see what those, are still to come. Obviously, we're thrilled to use one of those spots on Barlow. So we'll continue to look to add in that marketplace as well. But, we do feel like we're a deep team. But even if we're a deep team, it doesn't mean that, playing guys how Nick is playing them is. I agree with Coach Nurse. I think he's using our players in the best way to win games.
I think you're very comfortable, Connor, because that sounds like Dave. Instead of we got
sounds comfortable.
Instead of a good club, it's we got a deep team.
We're very comfortable.
The difference is the Philadelphia Phillies won the second most games in baseball last year, have been to a World Series, have had this core together. That's a team that should be winning championships. This is a team that you'd be excited to see them win a postseason series. It's a major difference.
They're a deep club. I need him to add club, and it's literally Dave Dombrowski.
Yes, but they're not the same team. They're not. They're in totally different spots. The Phillies are a disappointment. The Sixers, you have a little bit of an excitement for with the young players that they have right now. It's totally different.
All right. What do we got on the text line, Connor? It's 610-632-0975. Our Eagles topic so far this morning. If you could describe your emotions this morning in one word, after last year, when last year the one word that John said, and I think we all agree, is joyous.
Anxious.
That was last
joyous,
year.
yes.
But this year, what are you feeling today? You said anxious. I said optimistic. Connor said uneasy. What do we got on the text line on that? And then if you have more reaction to what the Sixers did and what Daryl Morey had to say on Friday, feel free, 610-632-0975.
All right, Al in Southwest checks in, says, I'm aggravated. Both of the Super Bowl teams were very beatable, but Nick's ego got in the way and continues to get in the way. The snowball is rolling, and it ain't good.
Yeah, see, it's interesting because I had that reaction.
Did you feel it last night watching it? I felt it yesterday when what time did you turn on the TV for the game?
I was anxious. 6:30.
Oh, so you put it on 6:30.
Yeah, me and Coop were playing.
I put it on around 6:05.
Okay.
So, I mean, there was no buzz. Like, I didn't feel any buzz for it. But I felt it yesterday. I felt the sort of, I can't believe.
I had that reaction the following week when I watched the Niners get obliterated.
The divisional playoff weekend.
But the Eagles weren't going to beat Seattle. The Eagles weren't going to beat the Rams.
Well, they weren't going to Seattle. They're going to Chicago.
Right.
They could have beaten Chicago.
They could have.
You know they could have. You know that's a game they could have won. I'm not saying they would have, but they could have won. They weren't going to Seattle and winning. Not this year.
And so that's why I felt the way that I felt the Monday after the divisional round, when I watched the team that eliminated the Eagles get absolutely spanked. But feeling that this morning, and look, you're entitled to your feeling. Thank you for texting in the show. I appreciate it. But like this morning, I don't have that feeling of anger. Maybe part of it was that I moved on. I don't know. Did
you feel the anger before? Or were you at anger, or you had already gotten to acceptance?
The only anger I felt was the Monday after the divisional round.
Okay. So you were already at acceptance. You got to acceptance quick.
Yeah. Here's where I'll be angry.
I think we all got to acceptance pretty quick.
Here's where I'll be angry. John and I talked about this on post-show headlines on Friday. Something you can go on YouTube. Just search Kincade Salciunas post-show headlines. We discuss things that are maybe further the conversation that we had on the air, or sometimes we get in other conversations.
Sure.
So on Friday, Connor, we did the Super Bowl predictions and some topics regarding Seahawks and the Patriots. And something that I said that I'm really interested to follow the storyline of, because John asked me, is this Seahawks team sustainable?
Like, do we see
win or
this team
lose?
being like a 3 to 4 year, they're constantly knocking on the door to go?
It was one of our main topics on the pregame show yesterday between Ray and I.
So I said on post-show headlines, is there a guy on the coaching staff named Calvin Flattulo? I wonder how long, because
Kubiak's gone.
Kubiak said it yesterday. He's going to the Raiders. He's going to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. How long is their OC search? Is their OC search 5 minutes?
In the building?
And it's, we didn't have enough time? Or do they do an extensive search? Because think about it.
You're going to be pissed.
Sam Darnold is congratulations. Very happy for him, but there's questions still about, there's still going to always be questions about Sam Darnold, right?
Deservingly so.
You're going to want a bright mind. You're not going to want to bring in a guy that you're just like, let's see how this goes. If they take 3 weeks to hire a new OC.
Oh, it's going to piss you off.
Or let's say it's 2 weeks, but there's a lot of interviews. I'll be upset about that.
Yeah, because the story last year was BS. I called it BS, and it was BS all along. They didn't look for the brightest minds. And the people who were the Eagles apologists kept going, well, who'd you want? Who'd you want? The brightest minds in football were out there. The guys you didn't know. No one knew Sean Mannion. Sean Mannions of the world were out there. You could have talked to these people. You didn't.
Yeah, nobody knew who Declan Doyle was.
Because you took the lazy route. People in NFL circles knew these guys.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how long their search will go. That will be my next reaction about the 2020. That'll be the final reaction of the 2025
Where it'll
Eagles.
get to. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Coming up next, we'll check more of our text line. Also, did last night make you feel any better or worse about the state and future of the Eagles? Johnny's going to make all Eagles fans feel better.
I just got it. Yeah. How about this? Live from Vegas. It's going to make everybody feel better.
All right. That comes your way next.
Everybody.
Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Seahawks crown champs. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are officially no longer the reigning Super Bowl champions as Seattle took home the Lombardi last night. A 29-13 victory in Santa Clara for the Seahawks over the Patriots. Kenneth Walker named the MVP of the game, first running back since 1998 to win that honor. Now the NFL offseason begins in earnest as the Eagles try and find their way back to the big game. We'll keep you updated as they continue to fill out the rest of their coaching staff, begin to look at roster moves. News cycle doesn't stop in the NFL, even though the season has come to a close. The Sixers, well, their season is not yet done. Not even close. They took down the Suns on Saturday, continuing a strong West Coast swing. They have their final game of the road trip tonight at 10 p.m. in Portland against the Trailblazers. Hear that game live here on The Fanatic. Tyrese Maxey was already named an All-Star starter. It was announced over the weekend that he will also be participating in the three-point competition during All-Star weekend. Sixers have 2 more games until they hit the All-Star break. We're going to talk to Zach Berman of The Athletic coming up at 8:05 for his thoughts on how Seattle's scheme in their Super Bowl victory could look a little bit like what Sean Mannion tries to implement here in Philadelphia. Hear more on that coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. This update is brought to you by Discover. You know it's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. If you guessed Discover, you guessed right based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
How to produce. Charity comes in many forms. Kincade Salciunas is back from the break. I wonder what they're going to get into.
7 a.m. hours brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, some things to come here on Kincade and Salciunas. We have today's headlines with Connor Thomas in about 15 minutes. Zach Berman will be joining us coming up at 8:05 to talk about the state of the Eagles and also more on Sean Mannion. But real quick, before John makes you all feel better, the Dunkin' commercial, by far the number one yesterday.
I think it was the best.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised it hit as much for you guys as it did for me because it's the shows of my...
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was my favorite show growing up.
You loved it. Okay,
Fresh
good.
Prince, yeah. So, and Seinfeld, I mean, everybody knows Seinfeld.
Right.
And with Jason Alexander being there yesterday.
I like Family Matters a lot, watching that on the throwback channels.
Yeah, and I was a big Good Will Hunting.
That was not funny.
Great movie.
Family Matters is not a funny show.
Agree to disagree.
Oh, my
I'm a big
gosh.
Urkel guy.
But those were good. Other than that, I mean, I put out a tweet yesterday, and I wonder if you agree. We had Steve Marino on this past Thursday talking about how much money is being spent.
Sure.
What, $50 million for a 30-second spot? That's just to have the spot. That's
just
not
to have the spot. That's not what you
the
paid
production
to,
value.
Right, exactly.
Right, the
how
paying
much
Bradley Cooper.
How much did Duncan pay to put together
right,
that
like
spot?
that must have been a lot of freaking money.
Now, I'm a big fan of Dunkin' Donuts. I love them.
Yeah.
They could give me lemons for my iced tea for the amount of money they're spending. Putting that ad
Damn
together.
right they can.
Come on.
Commercials have to be funny, pull at your heartstring, or nostalgic, right? Like the Duncan one was funny, but it was also nostalgic, right?
I think funny and nostalgic. It clicked two of the boxes.
If you don't have any of those and you're just trying to like actually push your product, you're not going to be remembered, and you just wasted so much money. There were a couple where it was like, check out this new product.
What was the one with Ben Stiller and was it Ben?
That was
Boone?
Instacart.
Yeah, the bananas one.
I remember
was
that
pretty
one
funny. That was pretty funny.
Cooper was like peeing himself because Ben.
That
Stiller,
was funny.
Injuries are always funny. So Ben Stiller fell, and that I remember Instacart. But there was another commercial. It was like an art commercial, and I'm like, I don't remember you already because it was too serious. Like it wasn't like you didn't do anything for me to remember you.
Damn, not an art guy.
No, clear. Oh, dude.
Like you don't remember, there was one year where McDonald's had unveiled a sandwich. They unveiled a new sandwich.
Did they?
The McDLT. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Because they got rid of it.
Is that bad?
It was a gigantic styrofoam container that it said, we're going to keep the hot side of your sandwich hot. We're going to keep the cold side cold. And George from Seinfeld sang the song for it.
No, really?
In the ad. He did this big dance number, and before he was George. It was before he was George.
Oh, my God.
And it was the McDLT, but it was this gigantic styrofoam container where
I'm looking at
it keeps
right
the
now.
hot side hot, and then the lettuce and tomato and everything, and your rolls were kept cold. So you had to put your sandwich together when you got it.
Interesting concept.
It fell apart quickly.
Well, discontinued in the early 1990s due to the environmental impact
Of these gigantic
that the
containers.
packaging was creating.
I mean, the packaging was gigantic. And the thing is, who wants to put their sandwich together? Like you have to.
I understand the concept.
You have to put your hand. You got to put a whole sandwich together. Yeah. There you go.
All right, so you're gonna make everybody feel better.
No, I'm gonna not feel better. I want to correct that. I'm gonna make you feel great off the charts because I got a text from my buddy out in Vegas, and he sent a little note along about the first release of the Super Bowl odds. So when everyone wakes up, these are at the MGM resorts. So when everybody wakes up today at Bellagio or one of those MGM resorts, they look at that board, and it is the first release of the Super Bowl odds for next year.
Okay.
You want to feel good? I would have failed this test so badly. So don't look at your phone, though, Connor, for anything on this one, because I want you to be paying attention to me because I want you to be picking this, because no cheating. I thought, right, let's keep it the NFC East first. How close are what are the Eagles and the Cowboys, like NFC East, as far as their Super Bowl odds? How close to the Eagles and Cowboys, Giants, Commanders?
Not remotely.
Yeah, because
You say not remotely?
No. I mean, the Cowboys will be the next highest, and I imagine they're probably a good 8 or 9 spots below the
Okay.
Eagles.
curious to see what the Commanders.
You go 8 or 9.
These can
Okay.
obviously update depending on the offseason.
because there's going to be money immediately. So Connor says 8 or 9 spots between the Eagles and the Cowboys in their Super Bowl odds.
I'll go 6 spots in between the Eagles and Cowboys.
19.
Okay. There's no thoughts on the Cowboys.
Eagles.
That means Eagles are high too.
Eagles 14-1. Cowboys 33-1. Giants and Commodes 45-1.
The Commanders and Giants are the same.
45-1.
That's wild.
They
considering
think the
were
Commanders
just
are
in
going
the NFC Championship.
So what happened is the Harbaugh
Yeah.
giving the Giants a lot of cachet more. The Commanders now to 45-1. So it's, in other words, the Eagles right now appear to be the most lopsided division favorite.
Okay.
How about that? All right? So that's going to make you feel good. This will make you feel better. Give me the playoff field. Give me the 4 division winners. So if you were seeding the 4 division winners you believe that they've posted on the board by where the seeding would be.
I would not be surprised if the defending Super Bowl champions are one of the top ones, and they'll also like
Okay.
the Rams. I'll say the Eagles of the divisions are second.
Connor?
Yeah, I'll go second as well.
Seahawks are the 1 seed. 8-1 odds to win the Super
Defending
Bowl
champs,
next year.
yeah.
Rams are the 5 seed at 10-1.
Okay. Yeah.
Eagles are the 2 seed at 14-1. Packers are the 3 seed at 15-1. Somehow in their betting margins, they have a tiebreaker with the Lions.
Okay.
Lions are the 6 seed at 15-1. Buccaneers get the gift of the NFC South, 35-1 as the 4 seed. And then the 49ers come in at 16-1 as the 7 seed. I expected the 49ers to be everybody's they're going to be healthy next year.
Oh.
They're going to bounce back.
Dude, that substation ain't going anywhere.
They're going to be everybody's going to be all
Kittle got
49.
injured so late, though. I don't know. Well, but by the way, the schedule is going to they benefited, and it's why they were one of my playoff picks. They benefited from the schedule. Now they didn't. What, they finished 3rd in their division? They'll still get a 3rd place schedule.
You notice though something? Notice something about it though that was just sort of weird? Don't the Bears in there? Does that seem weird to you?
No, not at all. They won so many one-score games.
Bears are 20
Yeah.
to 20-1.
We've talked about the Bears as the Commanders from the previous season, so that's not too surprising.
But
Here's the thing: I'm not surprised by really much of this.
so you're not. I'm very surprised.
I was surprised by the gap in the NFC. It's
And-
like that big of a gap, but look, the Eagles still are talented, and I think everybody has the same thought. If you had a competent offensive coordinator that could hold the hand of the head coach, because that clearly wasn't the case last year, the Eagles aren't getting eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
And the advice given by my friend is, I know you guys are talking all of this turmoil that you were texting me about yesterday because we were having a text conversation. He was having a busy day yesterday. He says, if any Eagles fan wants to bet them to win the Super Bowl, I would bet it now. Because if the Eagles get some good news,
Sure, with some of the
Eagles get good
futures.
news. The Eagles get Lane Johnson's coming back, and those will affect the Eagles' numbers. So he says the 14-1 number, he said he'd bet it now. If you think the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, bet it now.
Dude, do odds make you feel that much better? Odds don't really do much for you.
You know why? I've seen these operations,
Yeah, I know, and
and I
you
know
speak
how
on it
much,
very
and I know
highly.
how much these guys study, and ladies, by the way,
Yeah,
how much they study, how much they look into it, and how much stress is put on them
they're in the business to make money, not lose
to
money.
put the right number out. The first numbers matter.
Yeah,
Because they're going to see immediately. Some people are going to put, as people check out of the hotels today, they get a ton of people that put money on next year's Super Bowls.
yeah.
They put
by the way, there's people that do it for a living,
And
and
he
so
says
they get the numbers.
They're going to
early.
see who's wrong. More today, we don't learn, and he says we're not going to learn a lot about what we're right about today, but we will quickly learn about the 3 or 4 teams that we might be wrong about.
where the money immediately goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Connor,
So-
did the odds do much for you?
No, not really.
So you
know.
guys expected the Eagles to be the 2 seed? The projected 2
No,
seed?
I'm just
I
not.
did not.
I'm not surprised that they weren't that they were high.
I thought they were going to be a marginal projected 3 seed, razor thin over the Cowboys.
But it's a really open conference even next year. There are a lot of questions even with the teams that you saw at the top this year. So you lean back and revert to who's got the pedigree, who's got the talent on the roster, who has the proven track record of success. And
there's a lot of we are so close. It's like the Phillies. Like later on in the show, a little spoiler. Jeff Passan. Phillies are still, I understand why people don't want to see the roster be run back, but they're still one of the better rosters. There are people on the outside. Now, Vegas is different than a reporter. Vegas is trying to make money. But you are so surprised, but I think part of your surprise is because of how close we are to it. And we've been talking about, is this player going to get traded? Is this guy going to retire? Is that guy going to retire?
I thought the Cowboys and the Eagles were going to be. Now, Connor, you said 9. If you had said it to me, I would have said the Cowboys and the Eagles. The number in my head was 8.
Okay.
Before I saw the numbers, I thought Eagles are going to be like 15, Cowboys are going to be like 23. Cowboys are going to be like 23 to 1, 22 to 1, because they always like to put a tasty number on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Because they get a lot of money on the Cowboys.
By the way, their offense is also really, really good.
It might be their year.
The Cowboys 33 to 1? No. Vegas is telling you. No.
Yeah,
So is everybody else with a brain.
They're telling you that they're not, and they're telling you that the Eagles, he's saying, look, I'd bet it now.
Yeah. All right. Connor, what do we got on the text line? We have today's headlines with you coming up momentarily. What do we got on the text line?
This texter sends in their one word for how they're feeling about the Eagles right now, and they say unfulfilled.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, look, it doesn't have to be future. It can also be here and now. And, yeah, if you feel unfulfilled this morning after watching a really boring Super Bowl and remembering that Seahawks team beat the team that eliminated you 41-6, I get it if you're still feeling that way. I moved past it a while ago, but if there are people that still feel a certain type of way watching that Super Bowl going, you mean to tell me the Eagles with all that talent couldn't have beaten one of these two teams? You're totally fair to feel that way. And then you just remember who the offensive coordinator was.
The Eagles could have beaten the Patriots, but I don't believe the Eagles could have gotten. I don't see the Eagles getting out of the NFC if they had to go to Seattle.
I don't think so either. But
Not if
Hell,
they
they
had to go.
couldn't get
Not
out
if
of
they had to go to
Philadelphia.
Seattle.
they shouldn't have lost in round 1 at
Terrible.
home to the Niners.
Terrible.
My God. All right, coming up next, today's headlines with Connor Thomas. Zach Berman of The Athletic will join us coming up at 8:05. It is Kincade and Salciunas on this Monday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Okay, look, a Bradford White water heater in your house, that's going to make you feel safe. It's going to make you feel comfortable. You're going to be able to have those long, relaxing showers. You're going to be able to make sure that all of the appliances in your home work, like a dishwasher, or to be able to run your laundry. But the most important thing is that you remember that a water heater is a absolute thing you need in your house. It is absolutely one of the appliances that makes other appliances work. And if your current water heater isn't getting the job done, don't put up with it. Ask your plumbing professional about getting a Bradford White water heater, including their new Infinity tankless and Aerotherm hybrid heat pump models. Those are Mac Daddies, baby. Those are the ones that allow you to get all the hot water you ever need on demand whenever you got it. Plus, they also are very, very cost efficient, too. Visit BradfordWhite.com to learn more. Find the plumbing professional near you that can make sure you get the perfect model for you. They bring it to you. They install it for peak efficiency. And I assure you of this. How you heat your water, it matters. Choose my friends at Bradford White. Go to BradfordWhite.com and thank me later.
before I change my mind.
All right, before we get to today's headlines, question: any commercials in today's headlines at Connor?
No, there are not.
All right, what did you guys make of the Ring commercial, the Ring doorbell commercial?
We love our Ring doorbell, but I didn't even. That's not memorable to me.
I didn't even. I
It's
don't
not
remember
memorable
it
to me.
right now.
So,
Which one was it?
It's creating controversy. It was about the lost dog.
Oh, the lost dog where the girl hugged the other girl, and the dog was under the car.
No,
No,
that was a neighbor, just a neighborly commercial. The Ring,
Well, that was a lost dog one.
the Ring doorbell is for 30 days. It will be able to keep the image of anything that has ever crossed your Ring camera.
Okay.
So the way they're pushing it is,
We have
if you
that.
lose your dog, and then it goes to another house, and then it goes to another house, somehow you can figure out where the
Are we
dog is.
triangulating the last dog here?
But now people are going, yeah, it's a good way to push the dog thing, but now you'll be able to track where every human goes ever. And now people think it's an invasion of privacy. I have no stance on the matter.
There's
I
no,
saw that
wait,
Mission
wait, wait, wait.
Impossible once.
There's no privacy when you're on public streets. So how can it be an invasion of
Oh,
privacy?
people are freaking out about it.
Like that's not privacy. When you're inside your house, that's privacy. When you're walking on a public street, that's not privacy.
People are worried that it
Oh my gosh! Thank God we went from Bad Bunny to that. For guys, now this is the new thing they're
it's a
worried
new
about.
thing that we're be upset
Now
about.
they're all upset about that.
It's just
Their
the way-
Ring doorbells.
It's the way it is, Johnny. All right,
unbelievable.
time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
Nobody's upset about this. It's brought to you by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, like your doorbell's watching you, remember the name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers, visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. We'll start out with something, a lot of NFL stuff going on this weekend that gets buried under the guise of the Super Bowl. I know you guys saw this, but I'm not sure that everyone out there did, because Rodney Harrison had an opportunity to talk to Tony Dungy. And he got right down to brass tacks when it came to the decision to keep Bill Belichick out of the Hall of Fame. Take a listen.
There's nobody more deserving to be in that Hall of Fame than Coach Belichick. I've seen his greatness. I've seen him design defenses to stop your offense. And you just look at the players that he's impacted. He's been unbelievable. And when I look out throughout the Hall of Fame, and even a guy like Tom Brady wouldn't be Tom Brady without Bill Belichick. And that's the disappointing part of it, Coach. And you guys got it wrong.
Good. More people
You
should.
guys got it wrong.
Yeah, I love that. There's no beating around the bush. There's no semantics. It's you were wrong. Everybody out there knows you're wrong, and I'm going to tell you to your face on camera and on microphone.
No, it's great. It's just funny because earlier, before you played that clip of Rodney, Tony Dungy's going, I'm not going to tell you guys who I voted for, but here's the reasons why Bill Belichick didn't make it into the Hall of Fame.
Well, he's talking because he's part of the committee.
Right.
He's part of the group, but he can't speak for the committee. He can only speak for his own vote.
But he wouldn't say who the vote was, and then Rodney Harrison straight up says, you guys are wrong. So he kind of, I think, outed Tony Dungy and his vote in that clip. But you're right.
Sounds like
I'm proud of Rodney Harrison for speaking the way that it was right before the Super Bowl, too. Right? You know that the league wants the full attention to be on the game itself. And this was something that took place a couple of weeks ago, and it was Hall of Fame, not an actual game. But he's right. There's no reason for him to not be a first ballot Hall of Famer other than sour grapes.
Totally fair. Now, this is another person who's standing up for what they believe is right, and he's done this before. So, with the NFL season concluding, of course, you have the Olympics, you have the NHL and NBA going on. College basketball is going to start to build some buzz, though, because March is right around the corner, and we got an instant classic between UNC and Duke over the weekend. Seth Tribble hitting a game winner. UNC storms the court. They put .4 back on the clock. They win, then they storm the court again. And Duke head coach John Shire, who has been anti-court storming before, he said it got a little dicey for the Duke coaching staff.
For me, it's hard to talk about the game when I was most concerned just for the safety of our players after the game. I got staff members that got punched in the face, my family pushing people away, trying to not get trampled, not about the game. But obviously that was a scary ending, and that this rivalry is not about that.
I mean, that rivalry's been longer than you've been alive. I'm pro court storming. I understand that there are concerns about health and safety. Remember, wasn't it Duke where the guy's leg needed to be amputated
Yeah, was that?
And then he
Cooper
played.
Flag,
And then he
or was that
played the
somebody
next
else?
game. No, it was like it was a big man. Yeah, they acted like his leg was about to be
it's like,
amputated. And then he played the next game.
Correct.
So, look, I get it. There's concerns when there's scrums like that and people are acting like lunatics, and I understand that's like the number one big talking point. I think he also said at one point, let us get off the court first. If you want to find a compromise, fine. Wait for the other team to get off the court first, and then you open up the floodgates. But the anti-court storming thing is it's you lost, and so you're upset by it.
You know what they got to do? They got to put a big timer up on the scoreboard, just a 10-second countdown, and you just watch the losing team just sprint for the high heavens, like just take off.
The thing is, though, to me, is that you're first of all, you're North Carolina basketball. You're at home. You're still a top program, and you're storming the court.
Well, it's because of the
it's
rivalry.
Duke.
Yeah,
It's Duke.
It's
all the rivalry.
North Carolina and Duke have played for years and years and years, where the teams were ranked higher than this, and they didn't storm the court for a regular season win. Like this isn't. That's what's strange about it.
Yeah, I got
That's it. They don't storm the court. Duke, North Carolina, you don't storm the court. They don't storm the courts every win. I mean, this is weird to me.
Well, it was basically a game-winning shot, I think, plays into that, too.
Maybe. And they upset them. They were the 14th seed,
Yeah.
Duke the 4 seed.
I mean, still, it's I mean, this is. I think this is a know your place. I think 14 North Carolina. If that was not even South Carolina, because they've been a little better in basketball. If it's a team that's unranked beating Duke on your home court, and they come in fourth and you're unranked, I think that's a little different. You're North Carolina, for God's sakes.
I'm pro court storming. Anytime,
Especially when it comes to the rivalry.
All right, one more thing from the Super Bowl Sunday.
Okay.
Because representation is important. And Sam Darnold, we know now a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And there is something very unique about Sam Darnold compared to every other Super Bowl winning quarterback of all time. Do you guys know what it is?
Red hair.
He is the first red-headed quarterback to ever hoist the Lombardi Trophy.
That's going to make Ray Dunn happy.
Absolutely. He was the one I was thinking of. But to anybody out there, the young redheaded kids around America who think, could I win the Super Bowl one day? Congratulations, Sam Darnold just proved it was possible.
Should have been Carson Wentz in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Should have been Carson.
but he believes that too.
By the way, it was Kyle Filipowski,
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
who it was.
who was the player
Oh,
for
he was so
for Duke.
dramatic. So dramatic.
Literally, you thought he was going to have to be airlifted to a local hospital the way he acted.
Yeah, is it
and then
Chapel Hill or
and then he
Vietnam?
played the very next game.
And then Shire after the game the other night, like, hand on the face.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Oh, my God.
All right, coming up next, Zach Berman joins us. More on the hiring of Sean Mannion. He got some nice insight this past weekend. We'll talk to Zach Berman next. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A quiet Super Bowl Sunday. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are officially no longer the reigning Super Bowl champions as Seattle took home the Lombardi last night. A little bit of an underwhelming game, but championships are championships. A 29-13 win for them over the New England Patriots. Kenneth Walker named the MVP in the game. He's the first running back since 1998 to win that award. Now the NFL offseason begins in earnest, and the Eagles, they're trying to find their way back to the big game. We'll keep you updated as they continue to fill out the rest of their coaching staff and begin to look at other roster moves. Sixers, well, they're taking center stage now alongside the Flyers when the Flyers get back from the Olympic break. They beat the Suns on Saturday, continuing a strong West Coast swing. They've got one more game on that road trip tonight, 10 p.m. in Portland against the Trailblazers. You can hear that live here on The Fanatic. Tyrese Maxey, who was already named an All-Star starter, was announced over the weekend that he will be participating also in the three-point competition during All-Star Weekend. Sixers have 2 more games till they hit the break, so All-Star Weekend is coming up this weekend. Coming up next segment, Zach Berman of The Athletic joins the guys to talk about the potential crossover between Sean Mannion's new offensive scheme with the Eagles and what we saw from Seattle last night in the big game. This update is brought to you by Uber Eats. You hungry? Good thing Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at La Scala's from now till 3/31. Get a buy one, get one free deal on Rigatoni Vodka on the app. Order now only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
Weekdays with Marks. You guessed it with me, John Marks. That's coming up at 10 o'clock. Let's get back to more of Kincade Salciunas right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. It is 8 a.m. on this Monday morning here. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. The day after the Super Bowl, we've been talking a little bit about the game that nobody was excited for, and it kind of played out that way. That it was a game. It was just another game. And unfortunately, it was the Super Bowl, the last game of the season, and now we have to wait until September to watch the NFL in action again. And I guarantee you there will be a Week 1 game that's more exciting than what took place last night. That sucks. Like, what a way to – like, if the Eagles aren't in it, at least give me an entertaining game. And yesterday saw 12-0 going into the fourth quarter.
Was there any point when you saw Drake May throw that touchdown pass that you thought, okay, we might have something here?
No.
I
think I was wishing for it.
Oh, you mean you actually thought they had a chance?
I was more wishing for it. Like, please make this closer. Because what? It was 19-7?
Yeah, there was a stop and a score to where that got intriguing.
Yeah. And New England had a good defense.
I didn't think it got intriguing at all. I didn't think they were.
No, I was hoping for it. Connor was wondering, did I think at all that they were going to make it a game?
I did not.
I was just hoping for it.
I didn't.
I was bored. The whole game sucked.
It was so boring.
The whole game sucked. It was just,
It was so bad.
It ended up being another day. And one of our questions for you today, 1 year ago today, the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Oh, boy.
And 1 year ago today, our emotions were, you use the word joyous because it's your favorite word. But, any synonym to joyous. What about today? And we've been kind of all over the place with some of our answers. Zach Berman joins us coming up at 8:05 to talk about the state of the Eagles. He had an interesting article about yesterday's Seahawks team and how we could watch the offense and compare them to what we could see with the Eagles in the 2026 season. But what do we got on the text line, Connor?
All right, so we have people checking in with their one-word answer, but we also have people checking in on the Daryl Morey conversation that we had earlier.
Good.
And Joe, the cynic, checks in and says, I can't stand to listen to Morey speak. He always sounds exhausted. I guess stealing that cash is tiresome.
He does sound like he's on a treadmill. Like he's doing the interview on a treadmill.
Yeah, he's always got the water bottle handy.
Hydration's important.
He's always got the blue coat on.
I worry about his breathing. I worry about his breathing. Because he definitely seems short of breath.
Maybe he uses it to delay to answer questions. Because according to him, they did make the move to then make another move and then never made another move. What else we got?
DJ Milk D checks in with his one word on the Eagles, and he says, my word is concerned.
Okay. So concerned is sort of anxious and concerned?
Have we gotten more negative texts? I thought it would be more positive because I thought people were ready to turn the page and feel good. Like I was surprising myself when I said optimistic. That was my one word.
We're significantly more negative.
Really?
Yeah. I'm surprised that you thought it was more positive.
I'm surprised that you honestly, I can't believe how far, like if there was a middle ground, if neutral was a word, if somebody it is a word. If someone chose the word neutral today, I would understand it. Bill Colarulo spends a lot of time sitting on that fence.
He'll probably say neutral.
He could be neutral right now, but it's like one leg dangling, one leg on each side of the fence. You are clearly 2 feet down on the positive side.
Yeah, because
there's so many questions. I just don't understand how you are.
Look, if it comes out today that Landon Dickerson and Lane Johnson are both retired,
you're jumping over to the negative.
That's going to freak me out because now all of a sudden we're talking about 2/5 of an offensive line needs to be replaced and big names, Landon Dickerson and Lane Johnson. We're not talking,
Oh no,
Isaac Seumalo.
Correct.
Right? Like we're talking about the starting right tackle that's going to go to the Hall of Fame and the starting left guard that's been an all-pro. So that would change things. But if they come back and if Sean Mannion is what people around the league say he is, I believe it might be a little bumpy start because you're trying to figure out some things and guys are going to be playing in different positions. But bottom line, you look at the NFC, there's not a team that scares me.
I think Sean Mannion, though, the one thing that would concern me, are they hiring Sean Mannion a year early? Because Sean Mannion didn't interview anywhere else to go see. So you're trying to get one of those guys. He's very well thought of. Mm-hmm. He's very, highly acclaimed. But are you trying to grab him a year early and going to let him learn on the job? Because that's what it looks like they're doing. And I have no problem with it.
No.
I'm optimistic on the hire, so I have no problem.
No, I am too. It's just, to your point, it's a bummer that if there are shaky games, shaky weeks because he's learning on the job, you have a Super Bowl window that is open still right
But
now.
I will have no problem with him because I've said it before, and again, there's no sitting on the fence here. I am absolutely proclaiming it 100% that he will improve them in every category because you can't be worse than this year. He will not be worse than this year.
This past year sucked.
He's going to come in. He's going to make them better than this year.
Well, what could this offense look like? Did we get an idea last night? We're joined now from The Athletic, one of our favorites, our man Zach Berman here on Kincade and Salciunas. First and foremost, Zach, good morning and happy season of 2026-27 because officially ended yesterday. So we have a new year to look forward to.
There you go. Combine in 2 weeks. Let's get going.
Damn right. Legal tampering 1 month from today. We can't wait.
How about warm weather for you? Well, no, not for the combine.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to help.
At least you have the habit trails if you do make the trip up to Indy.
So, Zach, you wrote all your articles are interesting, but you wrote an interesting article about the Seattle Seahawks offense. And I know the world was watching yesterday, one of the more boring Super Bowls that we could remember. But a lot of Eagles fans maybe could get an idea of what the Eagles offense will look like this year.
Yeah, I do think some of the concepts that you see there from Seattle as far as the under center play action, the motion, those are concepts that the Eagles will use more with Sean Mannion. And if you just connect the dots, Sean Mannion, played for Kubiak in Minnesota with the quarterback coach Andrew Janako in Minnesota as well. But also that coaching tree, the Shanahan coaching tree, and Mannion, even though he didn't play for Kyle Shanahan, has had a few stops on that tree, and I think those are the concepts that you'll see more of in Philly compared to what you've seen in previous years.
I can wonder when you're looking at what you're hearing about Sean Mannion. Is he's got a lot of people that speak highly of him. I talked to someone within the Rams organization that says he was a very mouthy, he's somebody that is he's very outspoken. He's very aggressive with his opinions. He's a guy that is very self-confident. But is he hired potentially a year early? Is he a guy that the Eagles are taking a chance on when maybe he's going to really need a little learning on the job, ramp up season or maybe two to get his feet under him?
It's a valid question, and I do think the conversation took place that, all right, who are going to be the top potential guys a year from now, right? But that doesn't mean that he can or won't be effective this year. It's just Nick Sirianni, they had a similar perspective. They thought a year later he would have been a hot coaching candidate, and he made the playoffs in his first year. So yeah, everyone needs a first chance to get to call plays. It kind of bit the Eagles sometimes in the past, but the reality is this is not an on-the-job training job, right? The Eagles are expecting to win next year. Sean Mannion needs to win next year. Nick Sirianni needs to win next year. So there will be some a learning curve, for lack of a better term there, but the expectation is that this is an effective offense, and in particular, an effective passing offense.
Zach, when you were watching the game last night, did a thought ever cross your mind? I wonder what Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are thinking watching the Seahawks playing this Patriots team, and the Eagles lost in the first round of the playoffs to the San Francisco 49ers, who the very next week lost 41-6 to the Seattle Seahawks. Did it cross your mind at all? I wonder what the people up top are thinking and how disappointing this season ultimately was when you looked at this playoff field.
Well, I will be honest with you guys. Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman would be spooked out by the idea of how much I think about what they're thinking. So I'll start there. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think and feel confident saying it that Jeffrey often views these games through the prism of how the Eagles could do or what the Eagles could take from it. And Howie Roseman the same way. Howie Roseman, for a long time in his office, had the depth charts of every team that was in the conference championship game and kind of stacking the Eagles up against those teams. So I think that watching that game last night, and you're trying to take different things from it, And I think that there are concepts and roster building ideas, but I also don't think internally the Eagles feel like they're as far away as maybe some of the conversation on the radio station would seem to indicate.
I know this is that we've been playing the little game this morning talking about where people are in the fan base as far as if it's one word, because just a year ago, if I had said to you today one word of where you are with the Eagles, a year out from the Super Bowl where we were last year to where you are today, how much could that potentially change in the next few weeks with some of the questions that potentially will get answered?
Yeah, I think you hit on the head. I think these next few weeks are going to be fascinating, both for the Eagles season and the trajectory of the Eagles, right? And I hear there's almost palace intrigue sometimes about like dysfunction or things like that, and that's far from like the top concern I would have. The top concern I would have is frankly talent, and there are a lot of blue chip talented players who have ambiguity about their roster status. And so if you go back a year ago, you felt really good about the overall talent on the Eagles roster going into 2025, even understanding that there were going to be defections on the defensive side of the ball. This year, I feel confident about the talent level on defense going into 2026. I have a lot of questions right now about how this offense is going to look and if A.J. Brown's here or not and what Lane Johnson's status is and what the health of Landon Dickerson is. Like there's, what they do at tight end. There are, they've had this offensive core here for the past few years. They've obviously been to 2 Super Bowls, won one. But there's a lot of ambiguity. And I think when we have the answers to those questions, we'll have a much better idea of how this offense could be.
Let's talk about some of those questions. The latest that you've heard on, we'll start Lane Johnson, then you go Landon Dickerson, and then also A.J. Brown. 3 key members of just the offensive side of the ball. What's the latest you've heard on those 3 individuals?
Yeah, Lane Johnson, this is something that obviously we've been tracking for a while. And the thing with Lane, and I've been around Lane his entire career, he's a prideful person, right? So I think the big thing with him is, can he be the best right tackle in football? If he feels like he can physically be the best right tackle in football, then I think we're going to see him out there. But, I think a lot of that depends on how he's feeling physically, health-wise, right? As far as Landon Dickerson, that was one of the things after the season you heard his comments, and the thing that I kept hearing from people was like, all right, give these guys a chance to breathe, right? Like decisions aren't typically made in the days after the season. You have to give them a chance to see how their body feels. And so I don't have any like strong feel on what's going to happen with Landon Dickerson. I've heard all the whispers that you hear out there, but I tend to kind of be patient with this stuff and like pick up my head at the combine, after the combine, and see how they're feeling. And I have experience with that covering Jason Kelsey, and you tend to hear things at the end of every season, and then you kind of see where they are come combine time and whatnot. And so that's in 2 weeks. And A.J. Brown,
I want to hear this
fascinating one.
Yeah. The A.J. Brown that was talking at Radio Row, a little different than the A.J. Brown portraying himself around here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't put too much stock into either one of those. And that is, if you said to me, what do you think's going to happen? If you're asking me today, I would lean toward A.J. not being here. And I just think that there's a lot there, but there's also no substantive trade talks or anything of that nature, right? Those kind of pick up come combine time as well, and so look, I think that it would be a mistake if the Eagles were to trade him. I think A.J. Brown's still a blue chip player. I understand the thought process that the value now is more than the value a year from now, but I think if you move on from him, you need an adequate replacement, and I don't know what direction they would go there. But there's a lot of toothpaste they'd have to put back in the tube to bring A.J. Brown back. I personally think they should try to figure out how to do that. But that's one where I actually think there's if they were to trade him, there would be a very healthy marketplace for him, and the compensation would be pretty good. And I think even the result of last night's game could be advantageous to it if they are going to trade him, if there's some type of bidding war with the top AFC teams like New England and Buffalo and Baltimore, that would certainly help a market generate. But I personally think the Eagles should not, and I think they need to convince AJ that that he can be the best receiver in football here, and they frankly haven't done that well enough during the past 2 seasons.
Zach, do you want to have somebody back who you have to convince to come back? And also, when you talk about they have to put a lot of toothpaste back in the tube, is that on his behaviors or is that on the Eagles' behaviors?
I don't know if it's a matter of behaviors as much as just sentiments that kind of build up over the season. To the first part of the question, yeah. I mean, you want good players on your team, and I'll say this: AJ Brown, I know he's kind of a lightning rod on talk radio. Behind the scenes, he's kind of what you want in that he's popular in the locker room, practices. He does a lot of things that you want a top player to do. Now, this year did not go as well as it needs to be. I can tell you from covering the Eagles for 14 years, you don't find players like that very often, that good, that talented, who are literally on a Hall of Fame trajectory when you look at the numbers. Then you do everything you can to try to keep those players, not to try to move those players. So I understand the question, but my succinct answer to it is absolutely. You want a guy like that on your team.
All right, Zach, last thing. Obviously, one of the bigger storylines from recent weeks has been the status of Jeff Stoutland, and Stoutland obviously not going to be part of the coaching staff. We heard some of the players publicly address it, like Jason Kelsey on social media, Jordan Mailata at Radio Row. What have you heard behind the scenes about the exit of Jeff Stoutland?
Yeah, I don't think this was a good outcome for the Eagles, number one, and I don't think it was a good exit for the Eagles either. And I think there was meaning behind Jeff Stoutland announcing it kind of on his terms. And I know the Eagles wanted him back. This was Jeff Stoutland's decision, and there has been a distinction, generated between offensive line coach and running game coordinator. And I get the fact that if your run game concepts are changing, you might want someone who kind of has more background in that, or kind of has that type of style. Personally, I mean, I look at it. Jeff Stoutland's coach for 4+ decades. He's coached in every, in many different systems. He's had schematic changes here, but he is, not good. He's outstanding at developing players. And one thing I feel strongly about is I think he gets too much credit at times for like Jordan Mailata or Lane Johnson. Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson are the ones who deserve the credit for that. But the best thing I can say about Jeff Stoutland is whatever ability you have, he's going to find a way to maximize it. And you look at the amount of players they've had in here who their best years of their career are in Philly: Brandon Brooks, Mekhi Becton, Halapoulivaati Vaitai. Like there's a sample. You see them before or after they're here, and you see them here. And Jeff Stoutland has a huge part in that. And in a year when the Eagles are going to address the offensive line in the draft, I think they're going to miss Jeff Stoutland. Now that said, there was once a time when Jeff Stoutland was the unknown college position coach who was replacing Howard Mudd, right? And so similar to the OC conversation, everyone needs that first opportunity. I'll reserve judgment to see who it is, but I can say Jeff Stoutland is not just good. He's an outstanding offensive line coach, and the Eagles are going to badly miss him.
Zach, we appreciate
job,
the time
Zach.
as always. Check out all of his work on The Athletic, and of course the great books as well: Underdogs, The Franchise, and Leap Year, about the Philadelphia Eagles. We appreciate the time as always, Zach, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
There he is, Zach Berman. All right. So, look, there was a lot there. He still believes A.J. Brown gets traded this offseason, but we all say the same thing.
None of us want to see it happen. Nobody's rooting for it to happen.
That's the thing.
Nobody wants it to happen, but I want the A.J. Brown that was here the first 3 years.
Well,
I don't want the A.J. Brown we saw last year. I'm fine with that guy walking out.
You heard what Zach said. They have to talk him into believing that he can still be a top receiver in the National Football League.
And to me, and again, this is me, hearing that from Zach, who, by the way, is in the locker room every day, is around that team every day, who knows much more. I don't want anybody who has to be talked into coming back. So I am now in the camp of thanking A.J. Brown for everything that he did, and I love everything that he did, and I'm a huge fan.
I'm saying, baby, come back. You can blame it all on me, man.
But I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't want anybody who has to be begged to come back. Just like the fact is JT Realmuto having to be like sold on coming back to the Phillies.
Yeah, I didn't need JT. I need AJ.
No, but I mean, that's ridiculous.
I don't think the Phillies' success rides on JT or Realmuto. I think the Eagles' offense needs AJ Brown, even though it wasn't pretty this year either.
Yeah, to finish 30th in the NFL in offense, you need him.
All right, coming up next, I think the first words that came out of my mouth at 6 o'clock were, well, now what? The football season's over. Like, what do we do now? We will give you the schedule ahead. We have not only the Eagles and the NFL, we have the opponents, who they're playing at home, who they're playing on the road, but other things to look forward to in the Philadelphia area because there's some big events that are coming to this city. The Flyers are off right now because of the Olympics. We'll tell you when they resume play. So we'll sort of go through the schedule of our viewing. There's going to be a lot of downtime for you to hang out with your spouses and stuff. That sucks. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Hey, if you're feeling bad, go to the doctor. And if you've had some negative test results, make sure that you get the answers you need. Should a cancer diagnosis enter your family's life, whether it's you, whether it's a family friend, whether it's your mom or dad, let Dr. Sprandio and the team at CMOH, the consultants in medical oncology and hematology, help to save that person's life. They saved my life. This is like the best endorsement I could ever give you. When I was facing the uncertainty, and we were doctor shopping. That's what you do. When you get a cancer diagnosis, you talk to various practices. We chose CMOH, and I said we, my wife and I, chose the consultants in medical oncology and hematology. Why? It felt different. It felt different because they're an independent practice. That means they're not tied to just one tree of doctors that are all within one healthcare system. Also, they've got 3 convenient offices where you've got the free parking, the easy elevator access, and there are no elevators and garages you got to deal with. You walk right in from the main level of all their locations, and you just walk. And when you're doing chemo and radiation and stuff like that, believe me, it's important. The consultants in medical oncology and hematology even came up with a protocol that one of the other major healthcare systems in town told me they didn't think I was a good candidate for. Well, guess what? I'm here today. They saved my life. It's the best endorsement ever. CMOH.org. Take the first step towards peace of mind. If you need to know more, reach out. CMOH.org or reach out to me personally.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Seattle summits the mountain. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are officially no longer the reigning Super Bowl champions as the Seattle Seahawks took home the Lombardi Trophy last night in the 29-13 victory in Santa Clara over the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60. Kenneth Walker was named the MVP of the game. First running back since 1998 to get that award. And now, with the Super Bowl concluding, the NFL offseason begins in earnest as Eagles try and find their way back. We're going to keep you updated as they continue to fill out the rest of their coaching staff and begin to look at roster moves. We were just talking to Zach Berman of The Athletic about what that could look like. You can hear that full interview podcast on our website, 975thefanatic.com, or on our YouTube page. The Sixers, they took down the Suns on Saturday, continuing a strong West Coast swing. They have their final game of that road trip tonight at 10 p.m. in Portland against the Trailblazers. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Tyrese Maxey, already named an All-Star starter, added to his busy All-Star weekend. He's going to be participating in the three-point competition during this upcoming weekend when the NBA takes the All-Star break. Sixers have 2 more games, including tonight's, until they hit that point. This update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's President's Day sale is here. Score unbeatable deals and get matched with the perfect bed. They make sleep easy. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5 The Fanatic app.
and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
8:30 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. So you're trying to figure out the schedule ahead for the
I'm
Eagles.
already looking at it.
Already. So we're
mainly the prime time game.
What, you already worried about not getting much sleep next
Well, we
season?
already know that. But the 4 a.m., you always think about it.
So we'll give you some important dates to know of moving forward here in the Philadelphia sports scene. But John's already trying to figure out primetime games because John already did the you already looked at the odds for next year.
Yeah, I already got the word on that. So
and you're trying here. Here's your
already
sheet,
got
here's
that
your
done.
sheet of paper. Who do you think are the primetime games? You're Mr. Network guy. You talk to these
my
people.
primetime games. If you're talking about, and when I say primetime, I'm not talking about the late window CBS
425
starts.
Wow, America's game of the week.
I'm talking about it would be Sunday night, Monday night, or where they schedule those Saturday games late in the season.
Yeah.
Like the Commanders and the Eagles had later this year. I would say it's a lock. Seahawks and the Rams. Monday night football, Sunday night football.
Rams game
in Philly.
Rams game was a 1 o'clock game this year,
which is crazy.
That was wild. That
that didn't make any sense.
That made no.
I think the Eagles just had so many primetime games that by default, one of the good games had to end up there.
So they had so many, and then the away games. The only other games that it could be at home are Panthers and Texans. Well, Panthers are, but they're going to slip them into a primetime game as a division winner and everything. Texans are a team that they're definitely
a draw.
Texans are one that, but they have to put them into one. Remember, they have to be there. So they got to pick one game for them to be in one of those spots. Texans is one that they're going to hype the Texans. Texans I could see potentially. The away games, at the 49ers, at the Bears, at the Jags.
The Bears one I could see again because that was a good game, even though it was miserable for us.
Then I'll have to, and you know what I'll do is I'll ask Kevin Burkhardt because also too is because Fox will put in for the games that they most want. So what do you think Fox would say? Because Fox can put holds as the NFC rights holder.
Oh, Eagles Cowboys.
Well,
Always.
exactly. They love Eagles Cowboys because of the number. So they'll put that for one of the Eagles Cowboys will be 425.
Yeah, if the Jags game is primetime, it has to be a Thursday. I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars have ever played a Sunday night or Monday night game.
Well, they have.
They have, but I get what you're saying.
And they have to, but
nothing memorable.
I think they're going to be very desirable next year for the networks. Like people are going to be excited for them because of what they did. Bears 49ers. I would say Eagles at the 49ers Sunday night football. I'll look Eagles at 49ers like a Sunday night
rematch
game.
of a playoff
or a
game.
Monday night game. And I'm not going to look forward to it too.
Well, we don't know those dates just yet. We will get them
some
soon.
of the
and then in May we'll do W's and L's. I can't wait for it.
I'll be sick that day.
All right, so some important dates to know of. Remember, the Flyers are not playing right now because the Winter Olympics. Actually, it might be great for them.
I don't know.
Honestly, John, it may actually be great.
No, because a bunch of them are playing.
Yeah, that's true. Flyers return to action February 25th against the Caps. Obviously, the Winter Olympics going on right now. Sixers back in action tonight in Portland against the Trailblazers. But some other notes or days to know of. We have our first taste of Phillies baseball coming up February 21st. That's the first spring training game, so hopefully we get a look at some of the younger players that we're excited about. When's the World Baseball Classic start?
March 5th to March. I know St. Patty's Day is the last day of it.
March, yes, because they're playing professional teams. Yeah, March 5th is the first.
March 5th to March. How did I know that?
Because you're a genius, John.
I don't know why. I must have read it somewhere. But I know March 17th is the championship game.
Okay.
St. Patty's.
So I'm guessing if you're Bryce Harper, you're not going to be in Clearwater February 21st.
No.
Right?
No. They go to Clearwater, then they leave for the World Baseball Classic.
So he's going to be there for a week.
Yeah, because the World Baseball Classic teams I don't think they go till the 26th.
Yeah, because last time they did it, they popped into spring training for like a week or two.
Did they?
Yeah,
I don't remember
I think they have to report. I believe they have to report to their major league clubs for
Okay.
a while. They're good clubs. They're good clubs.
Yeah.
And then they go. They are released to the World Baseball Classic because they have to pass their physicals and everything.
Yeah.
Before they're released to the World Baseball Classic, they have to pass their physicals.
By the way, just for scheduling purposes, March 3rd is when they're doing like a country plays a professional team.
Oh, sure.
So Team USA on March 3rd will be playing the San Francisco Giants.
Okay.
So there are games that start before March 5th, but I don't know how they make it.
Can I say one thing to the people who are? I know you're a big World Baseball.
I
Classic
love the World
guy.
Baseball Classic.
You're big about this. I've heard people that continue to repeat one of the dumbest things that I've heard. And if we brought on any Major League Baseball player, they would tell you the same exact thing that I'm going to tell you right now. Well, they're going to be doing the exact same things that they would be doing if they were playing spring training. That is so patently false.
No, but
it's false because what are they doing? They're going out playing full throttle games.
Yeah.
It's ended up with, I believe, 17 disabled list stints this tournament has created. So players who are playing with 17 disabled list twins. Last time, Edwin Diaz, Jose Altuve, Freddie Freeman, just to name three.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz was a fluke, though.
He was dancing.
They were celebrating.
Which he wouldn't be doing if he was at regular spring.
That
is
incorrect.
Is not true.
No,
Incorrect.
Don't tell me when they practiced the World
Mets
Series.
practiced winning the World
exactly.
Series.
They didn't. They weren't doing where somebody's going to do that.
Celebrated spring training.
He is a. That is a. They're playing at such a level of intrigue to win this because they really care.
Yeah,
they do. They care,
which is why I love it because it's not. They're not just going out there and but it's
also
messing around.
But it is also what causes the injuries. And another thing, which is just an interesting one, and just reading an athletic piece this weekend, the amount of stints. So I have it here, not of the Altuve, but also players who participate in the tournament also spend more time on the injured list within season injuries that season that follows in Major League Baseball than players who did not.
Yeah, you don't like it.
Because when you ramp up at a leisurely pace to a season, there's a reason that baseball does it the way they do. And they don't just say, okay, you're going 0 to 80 in March. There's a reason.
Speaking of March 26th is opening day for the Fightins. They host the Texas Rangers. This is what I'm talking about. That's weird to me. They host the Rangers.
It's just a weird.
I don't like that. I want interleague play in the middle of the
weird.
season. I don't want to host the freaking Texas Rangers to start a baseball season. But that's just me.
I mean, it really is. It's just strange.
NBA playoffs begin April 18th. The Sixers will be in it. It's just a matter of what seed they're in.
Do the playoffs begin or does the play-in tournament begin?
It says the playoffs tip off April 18th. The postseason includes the play-in tournament. All right, so
it includes it.
April 18th will be the first play-in game.
Because hopefully the 76ers will not.
Yes, hopefully they're not playing April.
Hopefully they're not in the play-in tournament and they're using that time to rest.
Yes.
They're having a rest period before the playoffs.
Now, the stuff that's
because
really...
the play-in tournament is really not the playoffs.
I know, because you're playing
to get into the playoffs.
The stuff that's really interesting or exciting, the MLB All-Star Game will be here in Philadelphia this
July
year.
14th.
July
right?
14th, Tuesday,
Bastille
July
Day.
14th. I will do anything I can to be in attendance for that because it's in our own backyard.
If only you knew a couple people.
Yeah, well, they're usually not free, Connor. It's gonna cost some dough for an event like that. But that's in July, and then before that is the World Cup, and there will be games at Lincoln Financial Field beginning June 14th.
And unlike Sherelle Parker won't be dumb like the mayor up in New York who is saying he's going to get discounted tickets for people to the World Cup. The mayors of the cities have nothing to do with the price of tickets to the World Cup.
Yeah.
So more free ice cream for everybody in campaign speeches. Mayor Parker's not saying that because these tickets are going to be outlandish. If you didn't get them in the lottery at face value.
By the way, the round of 16 will be the last game at the Link. It's on July 4th, 4th of July.
That's awesome.
I think it's a 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock.
I don't see the time.
I think it's before. I think it's before any kind of fireworks go down. Like, so it's going to be like a Twilight, like before Twilight. And
Those
everything like that,
fireworks
which is
will be going off all day.
It's going to be great.
Especially depending
It's
on
an awesome
on the
thing.
countries that are playing in that game. It's going to be nuts.
I think we have some good countries that are in the mix too out of our.
Yeah, there were people that were upset with the draw.
Why?
First off, to me, I think it's just cool. Period.
I think it's awesome.
France, that's pretty cool. Brazil's
awesome.
Like, I don't know why.
You get France and Brazil, you're doing all right.
You have two right there that are great.
I think people were complaining that it's the matchups, like Brazil versus Haiti, and
Okay.
it's France versus the winner of this grouping of Bolivia and Iraq.
Who cares?
And
I want to see Iraq go down.
But you just want to see, I don't know, that's cool.
Like they're going to beat up on these teams, but these are the greatest. These are great teams.
Got Croatia and Ghana, June 27th.
Well, we're going to break that one down.
Oh, yeah,
Connor,
yeah.
don't be giving your analysis yet.
Yeah, we'll do our pick segment at the end of the show.
Look,
Modric's no longer playing for Croatia. How do they cover?
Can't do it.
All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor? We've got all kinds of stuff on the table. You can climb in at 610-632-0975.
Jeff from D.C. checks in. He's always normally pretty positive, but he gives his one word on the Eagles, and he says, disappointed, just a wasted opportunity.
So the thing is, what's interesting is you're looking ahead. I'm my feet firmly planted in today. Connor's feet firmly planted in today. Jeff from DC's looking backwards.
Yeah. We've been all over the place.
There's
with
the
this.
old line that your rear view mirror is very, very small and your windshield is very, very big. Look ahead. Look ahead.
That's what I'm doing, baby.
There's nothing we can do about what happened last year. The Bros took us down a path.
Arm bars, baby.
Crashed us.
By the way, next time he gets pulled over, he has to say Marcelo Ozuna of the Pirates.
Oh, no.
Marcelo Ozuna just signed with Pittsburgh per John Heyman. That was a player that, if people just ignore everything he's done off the field, that people were intrigued by for the Phillies right-handed power bat, he goes to the Pirates.
6 colognes in his locker. There's some good analysis for you.
That's important information.
Gotta have it.
Ozuna of the Pirates next time he gets his DUI. All right, coming up next. Johnny, we have 2026 power rankings already.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
All right, I don't care where they stand, but in 3 words, what is the number one goal for the Eagles this offseason? ESPN did that for every single team. We'll tell you what they said about the Eagles next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, the most romantic day of the year, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, she does. It's Valentine's Day. So celebrate your love this Valentine's Day with something timeless. How about a piece of exquisite jewelry from my friends at Benari Jewelers? I was just in the other day picking up my wedding ring. Look, refined classics, signature essentials for her. We're talking brilliant diamond, gemstone earrings, pendants, elegant bracelets. They're all designed to be treasured for a lifetime. And that's why you get her something at Valentine's Day from Benari Jewelers. They're the diamond experts at Benari and Exton and Newtown Square are going to personally guide you through the perfect diamond buying process. They'll even help you create a ring. It'll be your most unforgettable moment ever when you ask her to be yours forever. And every selection is backed by Benari's promise of uncompromising craftsmanship and remarkable quality. It's absolutely beautiful. So, when it's meant to be, trust the name that's been part of special Valentine's Days in this area for generations. Benari Jewelers. They're in Exton. They're in Newtown Square. They're online. They're at BenariJewelers.com. But you got to go in because don't miss Valentine's Day, guys. Make sure you get her a perfect gift, something beautiful from Benari.
Keep it locked into 97. Terms apply. See app for details.
Hey, it's Flo here to say drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
8:47 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Before we get to the way too early NFL power rankings, because why don't we have those already? Ray Dunn preparing for Middays with Marks in the back, and he was playing a clip from Mike Garafolo. I think this is this morning, or was it yesterday? I'm not entirely sure.
It looked bright out, so I'd say it was yesterday.
Yeah, then maybe it was yesterday, about A.J. Brown and the latest that he's heard about A.J. Brown. And he was saying that, according to, the people that he's talked to, the talks have quieted about being traded, but they will resume in like 2 weeks when...
That's because nobody's doing any trade talks right now.
But he did say that in conversations, he has heard that A.J. Brown is currently at peace and happy.
That's good.
Now, is he at peace because they haven't been playing? Is he at peace because he decided he wants to still be an Eagle and he's happy with the new offensive coordinator? Maybe he took time to speak with Sean Mannion. I don't know. But,
I'm exhausted. I'm just exhausted with it all. It's like, for God's sakes, are you at peace? Are you not at peace? Are you happy? Are you not happy?
Right now he's at peace.
Yeah.
Just for God's sake.
If you don't want him traded, then you should hope that he's at peace.
No, what it's exhausting. It's exhausting. No, what I'm hearing is, if I heard from Zach, and I think that Zach Berman, I'm going to tell you, I think Zach Berman's a hell of a lot better connected than Mike Garafolo. No disrespect to Mike. But that AJ's having to be cajoled as to coming back, talked back into it to coming back. To me, and I hold it consistent with anybody on a team. Goodbye. Goodbye. If you have to be talked into coming back, goodbye.
Baby, come back.
No.
You can blame it.
Yeah.
No, don't blame anything with A.J. Brown on everybody else. Don't do that.
I'll do some Patullo blame.
No, do the next. Okay. But then every player on offense then every player on offense that gave their full effort last year, that didn't take to social media to subtweet people and create discord, then they would have every reason to feel the exact same way and more, because they conducted themselves like complete professionals the entire season. So you see that next word about baby come back, the next line of the sentence, you can blame it all on me? BS. Yes.
Okay, then we'll just sing the first part.
Yeah.
Then
come back.
Keep it that.
Period.
Yeah. I mean, then you are just the queen of thirst. Then you are just too
man.
thirsty.
I'm thirsty for AJ Brown.
You are just thirsty.
I'm parched.
That's what you are. You guys are just thirsty. You're like,
hell yeah, man.
Treat me like crap. Treat me like crap. Don't give me full effort. Don't run every pattern. Don't extend for balls. Then be like, oh, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm feeling now. Now I'm feeling like I'm motivated. I don't look for all the money we're paying you. You're not motivated to
I just know he's a really good football player, and I want him on my football team.
You're not motivated to come and be a professional?
I look at it very simplistic. You're good.
No, I'm looking at it.
I want you on my team.
Okay, but what did he give you last year? What did he give you? Did he give you full effort?
No.
Well, then why are you so forgiving of that?
Because when I'm not forgiving, but when he gives full effort, I know he's a pretty freaking good football player, and I don't want him to leave.
But why? I don't want to look.
I'm not saying it's okay what he did. The whole last season isn't okay. Everything about last season with the Philadelphia Eagles, other than the defense, sucked.
But the please come back, AJ, please come back is exactly like
because
just
there's
like
a fall off if he leaves.
Because you don't know what. How do you know that?
Because he's A.J. Brown, and you're not getting another A.J. Brown right now.
You do not know that. You can improve this offense. You absolutely can look at the numbers and say, yes, this offense could be better without A.J. Brown.
Okay, so Zach Berman told us when he talked to us earlier, it's more likely than not to him that A.J. does end up being moved. So
I think he will.
So you're telling me that the Eagles are going to end up with a better wide receiver than A.J. Brown for this next season if he gets traded.
What I will tell you is, and I've guaranteed it, so if I'm wrong, it is the total be in your face, the worst ever is. They will be better across the board exponentially than they were this year. So they had A.J. Brown. They had all this star quality guy. They're going to, if they subtract that, I will guarantee you they will be a better offense across the board. Guaranteed. I'm not sitting on a fence. I'm not hemming and hawing. They will be better. Their passing attack will be significantly better.
Yeah, but that's not.
And I'm not even holding out, and I'm not putting a caveat of Dallas Goedert has to come back.
Right.
I'm telling you right now,
Brown.
They subtract A.J. Brown, I'm going to tell you it'll be a lot better than this year.
But there's another major factor in that, and that's Sean Mannion over Kevin Patullo. Like, they could be better, but then who's to say if they lose A.J., they wouldn't be even better than that?
I also worry that who's his replacement? It could be a rookie wide receiver that makes an impact like Igbuka did for Tampa Bay, or it's another Jalen Reagor.
I don't want non-professional behavior. I don't want it. And I don't want to just be like, well, this year, he's going to give us his all.
Well, sometimes you got to make concessions.
This year, he's going to be okay. I don't want any of that. Like, I don't want and I certainly don't want to beg somebody who didn't give their all, who didn't give you everything that he had this year, who moped around, who at 4-0 was pissed off. I don't want that. I'm not going to beg that person to come back, and I want this player back. But I want this player back as, I'm going to be better. I'm going to do the things it takes to be better, and I'm going to be all the things that you need to be successful. That's it, bottom line.
Way too early power rankings. Eagles come in at number, take a guess.
6.
Johnny?
7.
8.
We were going to get there eventually.
San Fran ahead of the Eagles, which is nonsense. San Francisco 6th. Lions ahead of the Eagles at 7.
Well, they're going to put San Fran ahead of them because San Fran came in and beat them
I still think the Eagles with
nobody.
Team.
Came in and beat them with nobody.
The Eagles offseason in 3 words. Baby, come back. Just kidding. Unlock the offense, which is, everybody's thinking about that. But Tim McManus at one point wrote, there are major questions facing the group, though, including whether A.J. Brown will continue on in Philly or if the front office will feel compelled to trade him. It's going to be the number one story for the Eagles.
And I think Jeffrey Lurie pretty much when he was having to beg him to behave himself during the season, and then all the secret quiet quotes came out. All the whisper campaign started the very next week. I think they're exhausted. They're just it's an exhausting thing.
Jalen Reagor was exhausting too,
in a totally different way.
Yeah, that's a talented player. I'd be afraid to lose, Johnny. I'd be afraid to lose him. Coming up next, Eagles fans, be prepared to say goodbye to something that we all loved for the last couple of years. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Seahawks win it all. I'm Connor Thomas. The Eagles are officially no longer the reigning Super Bowl champions in the NFL as Seattle took home the Lombardi Trophy last night. A 29-13 win in Santa Clara over the New England Patriots. Kenneth Walker named the MVP for the Seahawks, the first running back since 1998 to win that honor. Now the NFL is officially into their offseason, so every team is now thinking about changes to both the coaching staff and the roster. The Eagles, they've been working on that for a bit now, but we'll keep you updated as they continue to fill out the rest of their staff and begin to look at potential roster moves. The Sixers, they're just hoping to get back to the East Coast soon. Well, they're finishing out the West Coast road trip tonight. A nice win over the Suns on Saturday, and it's been a lucrative trip for the Sixers, but they have their final game, 10 p.m. in Portland against the Trailblazers this evening. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. Tyrese Maxey was already named an All-Star starter. It was announced over the weekend that he will also be participating in the three-point competition during the upcoming weekend. All-Star weekend is this weekend. The Sixers have 2 more games till they hit that break. This update is brought to you by NJM Insurance. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
If we were to break down football from this game and talk about what we watched, I watched what Nick Sirianni wanted to do. Be very careful. Don't turn the ball over. And look, it worked for Seattle. Rely on your defense. Run the football. Be safe. Don't shoot yourselves in the foot. Win the turnover battle. What Nick Sirianni wants is what you watched Seattle do last night, and they won the freaking Super Bowl.
The only person that's liking this Seattle game plan
Prevent
is
offense.
Nick Sirianni.
The prevent offense. If you were to describe your emotions today in one word, what would it be?
One word.
I'll start, and this might surprise some people. But because the game ended yesterday, it's officially
sure.
We're done.
We've turned the page.
Optimistic will be the word that I use.
Now, I did not expect that to be your word, but I did in my heart know that you weren't going to go to the end of the spectrum of bad word. Connor, what's your word?
Uneasy. I am very, very uneasy with where the Philadelphia Eagles are right now.
You are much more in the same end of the dictionary than I'm at. My word's anxious because there's too many question marks about a team that 1 year ago was walking off to confetti. And 1 year later, they've got nothing but turmoil.
Now back to the show.
Oh, yesterday was a game. Last night, Super Bowl 60. Seahawks win 29-13 in just sort of the way we all kind of thought it would play out. Boring. Not much intrigue, not much excitement for that game.
I'm glad that it did play out that way, honestly, because we sounded a little bitchy about it as Eagle fans. Like we were sort of sounding like we were being sour grapes-ish a little. We were right. It turned out that way.
I think we sounded sour grapes. I think we sounded the way
Well, the way that we didn't, I've done this job a long, long time. I would say we talked about this Super Bowl that just ended 50% less than any Super Bowl I've ever done this job. 50% less than the lowest Super Bowl I've ever talked about. And it lived up to that billing.
Think about the two teams that were in it, Seattle, New England. I would imagine a majority of not rooting for, but like actual fan bases. New England, bigger fan base than the Seattle Seahawks?
Oh, sure.
Just a guess, right?
Well, around here.
Right.
Yes.
That team, somebody had to win the AFC Championship game, right? Like,
right.
One of those two teams that played championship weekend between the Broncos and Patriots had to win. And they beat barely a team that didn't have their starting quarterback. And they had Jarrett Stidham. And don't give me the weather because the first half there was not snow. The snow happened in the second half.
And we now know the weather was nothing to do with Drake May looking horrendous.
No. It's just
it was against a good defense.
Drake May.
Against a good defense, Drake May looks horrendous.
Yeah. So they played, and they played pretty much exactly the way you expected them to. And then Seattle just had the lead the entire time. It was a boring game. And then, of course, we think about it and we go, man, the Eagles could have played one of these two teams well. I'm not saying win. One of these two teams well if they had a clue of what they were doing offensively. And so what we're asking today, it's 610-632-0975, so I have a text ready for us, Connor. If you could describe your emotions about the Eagles in one word right now, from this year compared to last year, today, happy anniversary, the Eagles won Super Bowl 59. We are totally feeling differently about this Eagles team today. What are people saying about the Eagles in one word?
Jay checks in, says, my word is questions, because I got a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are a ton of questions.
I think and Connor, that's probably closest to your word?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, questions can have positive or negative answers. Uneasy is more, to me, expecting a negative answer. So I think that's more to the neutral side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anxious, like, to me, do you consider anxious to be positive or negative?
I consider it negative.
See,
I do as well.
You consider it negative. I consider it uneasy. The wait and see. That's how I mean it. The wait and see. But it's certainly not positive. It's certainly not positive.
I'll say, as somebody that knows somebody closely that suffers from constant anxiety, it's never about, I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, anxious is not.
No,
wait a minute, though.
It's always the negative.
Okay, wait a minute, though. Now, here's what I'd say to you. Now, here's where I would disagree. The night before, the flying out here, and Malcolm Jenkins and his wife were right behind me. The night before, flying out to L.A., going to The Price is Right, I was anxious. But it was a positive anxious. It was a positive anxious. But I was anxious. Like it was, and I'm not usually.
Because what if you don't get picked?
Well, that's what it was. Anxious.
You made the trip.
No, but that's what, and that was what the anxious. But it was more about the excitement of what is this? And of course, I'd been a nerd and studied all the things of how do you get picked? How do you do all that stuff?
Here's the thing with anxious, right? In anxious, it's the competing principles of something good could happen or something bad could happen, and I want to find out, right? Like when I talk about uneasy, that doesn't really lend to potential positive outcomes. It's more, I know something's going wrong right now. I don't know how bad it is or how to put my finger on it at this moment, but I feel like we're not in a great spot.
So you thinking uneasy is Courtney Cox in Scream every time she walks into the kitchen and you're waiting for the jump scare and then you don't get it.
Exactly.
And then she walks into the living room and they're having a conversation and she gets it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
By
pretty
the way,
fair.
did you see that? There's another Scream?
Yes. Yeah, I know.
There's
God
like a billion of every horror movie
those
these days.
those aren't going to end anytime soon. All right, tush push update. I'll give you in a second, but I have to ask a question about yesterday's halftime show. What was the point of Lady Gaga? A talent, supreme talent.
That was the point of it.
Just to have another.
Yeah.
All right.
And they're friends.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And they're friends.
I'm not up to date. You know me. I'm not up to date with
He
stuff.
gets a budget to ask the main performer, gets a budget to put together for props, stage, things like that. That's all negotiated with the lead act. plus to be able to offer guests to join them. So
Okay.
that's it.
I was just like, I looked her up, Italian descent, like that. I'm like, all right, is there any ties here? And then she doesn't even sing one of her songs. She sings, isn't that a Bruno Mars song that it was a cover of a Bruno Mars? It wasn't even one of his songs.
But
like,
it was.
I was trying to think, like, what's the
But
point
weren't
of
you
this?
surprised?
Yeah, she's talented.
Well, it was a surprise. It was a shocking, it was shocking, exciting. I don't think anybody had heard she was going to be a part of it.
No, I don't remember seeing any.
So that was
any leaks.
so it's a surprise, and they're friends. Yeah. And I thought visually, I could tell you some of those dance numbers. Visually, it was intriguing.
It was a fun watch.
I think it was a fun watch too, and I would tell you that if you were just not watching it because you were mad,
Oh yeah,
you missed out.
You knew that was.
You missed out, and you didn't have to. And I do not speak a lick of Spanish, as my daughter and my wife will tell you, as they speak behind my back in Spanish on me all the time. I found it entertaining. I've seen
I
better.
was tapping my foot, baby.
I've seen better halftime shows, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the beat. I enjoyed the beat.
This was the worst halftime show ever,
Ridiculous.
and this was the best halftime show ever.
Yeah, but I mean,
but not everything has to be political.
I thought the thing is though, I thought to me, it's not a halftime concert. It's a halftime show.
Right.
There's a difference. On Thanksgiving, they have in Detroit and Dallas, they have halftime concerts. They say it's the halftime concert. There's a difference with the show. If you weren't at least mesmerized by that show, I think you're just trying to be pissed off.
Yeah.
You're just trying not to like it.
Yeah, or if you said it was the best show ever, you're just trying to be the opposite of pissed off.
I was intrigued. I was wondering, where's this going? I thought the him dancing through the fields and everything like that was pretty wild. And then when he falls through into the house and everything, that was amazing to me.
Yeah, it was well done. I think part of it, too, because Ray and I were talking about this when we were watching, is that last year with the Kendrick show, you knew what was going on as far as the backstory to some of the songs he was going to sing with the rap beef. And then everyone was like, is he going to do it? You knew he was going to do it.
Yeah.
And then he did it.
The build up to him doing it.
It's like how you always have these theories. Could this person be part of the halftime show or that person? Like Kendrick basically telegraphed the ultimate he's going to do it and then did it. And if that was something that you were really into last year, which a lot of people were, I think this year might have had a little bit less behind it from that.
No, what was behind this one was controversy for all the wrong reasons.
And thankfully it had very...
Yeah. By the way, per Next Gen Stats, because Bad Bunny had a football in his arm.
Did he have more?
he had 100. What is it, 127?
124.4 yards with the football.
I should have bet on him over Stevenson, which I lost that bet.
Drake May was the leading rusher for the Patriots with 37 yards. Ramondre Stevenson had 23. Trevion Henderson had 19. So he had more than the entire Patriots team combined. So Bad Bunny, not only tremendous performance in terms of the concert, but a better performance on the field than the New England Patriots. All right. Tush push update.
Yes. Well, I didn't even realize, when you said that, I've forgotten about tush push.
Because it wasn't
effective.
It wasn't good this year. I kind of don't want them to do
Well, it helped to get guys beaten up, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, it's definitely part of it. But, obviously they're going to have to do the vote again. Or there's been talk, do they do the vote again?
No, somebody has to call for the vote again. And as I told you before with the Rules Committee, it is very rare that they vote on the same rule 2 years in a row. So,
but this year, remember last year, it was player safety. The big talking point this year was the ability to officiate the play. Because remember, guys were jumping off both sides. It wasn't just Eagles were doing false starts. There were guys lining up in the neutral zone. Defenses were jumping off sides. But because it's such a blink of an eye play, officials weren't able to call it correctly.
So what would be the rule change?
Well, Troy Vincent, who's the executive vice president of football operations for the National Football League, Radio Row takes place. It's where they do a lot of the meetings and talk about what's next. He said that the league will once again take a closer look at the tush-push play made popular by the Eagles. This is from Fox Sports, by the way. The soonest the NFL's competition committee might address the issue would be at the NFL owners meeting, which will be in March. A proposal to ban the play garnered 22 votes last year, failing 2 votes shy of the required 75% majority rule for a change. Last year, it was health and safety, This year, how accurate can the play be officiated? Quote from Troy Vincent, it will be discussed. Number one, we want to be accurate, recognizing when someone is offsides or moving early, but also the difficulty of when you see forward progress and blow the whistle, you blow it too early. Now you have back or tight ends back there running and progress is still moving forward. We've got work to do. We will revisit that particular play and see how membership feels about it and if they want to do anything.
Well, if they do something to it, remember, it's going to affect everything because you guys don't remember. I mean, you guys probably don't remember the NFL when you couldn't push people.
Yeah.
When a tight end caught a ball and you weren't allowed to push him, where that was illegal. You guys are too young to probably remember that. You were in definite middle school.
Yeah,
when they changed that rule.
But it's
you were
been a minute.
you were
Long
real
time
little.
ago, yeah.
You were real.
Majority
little
of our lifetime was you're allowed to push somebody to try to get to a first down.
That's gonna and officiating that. All the players in the NFL all grew up in today's game when you could push people. A wide receiver, they're being pushed. Tight end gets in, they're being pushed. Running backs getting pushed. Not just on the goal line.
I hope this is a non-story because if this turns into like a big nothing burger, it doesn't get brought up, they don't push it. You know what the narrative we can build is.
They were trying to just screw the Eagles.
Oh, so the Eagles won last year, so we have to get rid of it, and the Eagles went out in the first round this year, and nobody talks about it. Really interesting. Does it have to do with the play, or does it have to do with the team?
Could be, but I think it's good. I think it's going to get banned this offseason.
We'll see.
I do. Because the officiating thing was such a big talking point of it.
So you think enough teams are going to line up to say this is a big enough issue with us?
I think so.
Wow.
Goodell says the officials are really good.
Yeah, I know.
They're outstanding.
Good club. They got a good club.
By the way, one other thing that might change. I did not know this. So the Hall of Fame voting obviously was a big story a couple weeks ago. Bill Belichick not being inducted as a first ballot Hall of Famer, which was just freaking stupid and criminal to the sport of football. Do you know that the last time the selection committee met in person was 2019?
What, they only meet virtually now?
Ever since COVID.
They used to meet the Saturday before the Super Bowl. I remember being at Radio Row doing my national show, would be going from Radio Row, and they would be meeting there.
Yeah. So they're going back to it. Next year, they will have all 50 voters in a room at the same time. Now, how much of that led to somebody not voting for Bill Belichick? Because they could just hide in their office at home and be like, I'm not going to vote for Bill Belichick, and nobody needs to know about it. Does that change in person? They were supposed to get back to in-person meetings in 2023, but inclement weather affected travel.
I mean, they honestly are still doing the COVID thing? They were still using COVID as a.
I guess once you were able to do things virtually, they said we could just do this virtually. But they're going to go back to an in-person vote this upcoming year.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that they stopped, that they weren't in person anymore.
I didn't know that either, and that's crazy to me.
So they're going to do other tweaks as well, talking about who can vote and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
All right, what do we got on the text line? We got a bunch of topics on hand today. Obviously, Sixers came up earlier today as well when we had our first chance to react as a show to what Daryl Morey had to say last Friday after the trade of Jared McCain and then nothing else. Very Dave Dombrowski-ish, saying we got a good team, deep team. People may not think about that that way. We got a good club. We won 96 games. If it wasn't for this shot by Kawhi Leonard, we would have won a champion. Like, it sounds just like it. Anyways, what do we got on the text line?
This texter checks in, says, my word is hopeful. This team has a lot of ifs going into the offseason, but if most of those ifs turn out positively, then this is still a team that can win another ring next year. I'm not quite ready to be optimistic, but I'm hopeful.
Okay, that's good. I like that one. And I would honestly believe that the Eagles' history should require you, if there's any organization that deserves the benefit of the doubt. The Sixers do not deserve the benefit of the doubt. The Eagles do.
Yeah. Look, when we said it the week after they lost to the Niners, as miserable as we were, the window hadn't closed. The championship window did not die the second the Eagles lost to the 49ers. Now, look, if it comes out today that Lane retires and Landon retires and AJ gets traded, we're going, uh-oh. All right, there might be a quick reset. Maybe it's a down year next year, and then hopefully they're back, in a year after that. But if those guys come back If Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson do not retire and the offensive line gets healthy and Sean Mannion has, 20,000 more pages of ideas than what Kevin Patullo had, and the defense is still really good, then they could be right back in it next year.
Kevin Patullo had a freaking coloring book. I mean, I'm counting on it. I wouldn't think that Kevin Patullo could work the little golf tee check, jump game at the Cracker Barrel.
Hey, that's tough, okay?
That is actually a really hard
I've
game.
been a real ignoramus for like the last 30 years.
No, you're not anymore. They've politically changed it. Don't go to Cracker Barrel and be disappointed now. They can't call you an ignoramus anymore. Now it's like, you're not as intelligent as you think you are, or something like that.
I thought they went back.
They changed the peg game. They changed it so nobody feels bad about themselves for being the ignoramus. Connor, I was an ignoramus most of my life. I think I got 2 once.
That's a big
Once.
accomplishment. We'll hang the
big
banner.
accomplishment, exactly.
I won't mention the establishment, but I did a watch party a couple of years ago. And they wanted me to do trivia for the Eagles trivia.
Okay.
And
did you have to make the trivia?
I made my own trivia.
Okay.
And, one of my first questions was name me one player whose jersey number is retired. Right? One. I didn't ask for name me all, name me one. And it was the year or two after 5 got retired. So it was very current.
Okay. 5 always love you.
Nobody could get it.
What? Wait a minute.
I was then pulled aside by the owner of the establishment, hey, man, we just really want you to make these really, really easy. I was like,
how much easier can you make it?
I was like, so what jersey number did Donovan McNabb wear when he literally said number 5 will always love you? And he was like, no, man, easier. So I had to be like, who plays quarterback for the Eagles? Those were the questions.
You remember when you said people know geography?
Wait a minute. I thought you said it was a watch party.
It was.
It was wait a minute. Were they giving away watches? Or?
Nope.
Wasn't it?
They wanted it so easy that people were happy, and I was like, okay, I spent all this time on these. You had me come up with 20 questions, and
okay, I'm baffled by that.
Now, in that place's defense, you are asking us how many inches of ice you need to be able to walk on it. Sometimes your questions are a little bit. We've seen your.
You
question
did the job, Connor. How about that? How about you produce a game? How about you come up with a game one day?
Gladly.
All right, do it tomorrow. Connor Thomas has a game for us tomorrow.
Connor. I mean, it's like that's crazy to me that somebody would need that, like a watch party at an establishment, and it'd be like
they want it easy. They want people to be happy.
Wait a minute now, come on.
Tune in tomorrow to Connor's game because Connor knows all.
Wait a minute, people are going to watch an Eagles game in an establishment, and they didn't know those questions.
Yes,
that's incredible to me.
Yes,
that's incredible.
What else we got on the text line, Connor?
Joe from Jersey checks in. Just one word here: broken. So totally different than that hopeful text that we just got.
Broken but can be fixed.
He didn't say that.
No, but that's how I'm responding. Yeah, there are things that are broken. This offense was broken all year after the month of October began. I mean, we talked about it how many times where we said the last time the Eagles scored, 24 points against a playoff team was September. We were wearing shorts and T-shirts. We were baking in Florida, John. That was the last time the offense put together a decent performance against a playoff team. But you can fix things that are broken. Not all things are broken to the point of no repair. This Eagles team can be repaired. And it starts with Sean Mannion. Sorry to put all that pressure on you, Sean, but it starts with him. Patullo is that bad. And Nick Sirianni can't fix it because Nick Sirianni, when it comes to offensive mindset, might be that bad too.
He's that bad.
Even though
we all fertilize.
Yesterday was his Super Bowl, though. Prevent offense, baby.
That's what I said is the only person who could enjoy this would be Nick Sirianni.
The Seattle Siriannis last night crowned Super Bowl champions.
Now, if Bill does another one, is Nick Sirianni not getting enough respect in this town? I will pull my hair out, though.
I wonder if he says, Seattle copied the Nick Sirianni playbook.
Oh, will you stop it?
You know
what? It might happen.
Tune in today at 2.
Seriously, if Bill asks me one more time, or asks me as a listener to Unfiltered, is Nick Sirianni not getting enough respect in this town? Bill. Yes. He's getting everything he deserves.
Yes, he is.
Everything he deserves.
But he wins. Coming up next, the Eagles almost did what? According to one source, it's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Okay, let me tell you what Dan White and Associates have been doing. They've been helping people for almost 4 decades, specializing in retirement and financial planning. So if they've been around for 4 decades, what does that mean? Well, it means they're giving people some good advice, because when you're telling people how to help, what to do with their money, how to plan for retirement, how to plan for being able to pay for your kids' college education, how to budget, how to get that bigger house, well, these folks know their stuff. And they got offices in Glen Mills, PA, Middletown, Delaware, and Lewis, Delaware. You may tell me, John, conversations about money, a little uncomfortable for me, but that's okay, because it can be an overwhelming topic. So here's what I want you to do. You can go visit one of their seminars. They go get a nice dinner, listen to them speak, and then you can decide then to schedule your complimentary no-risk consultation. These folks are low pressure, but more importantly, they're results-oriented. And they're going to be able to get you the answers you need to get financial guardrails set up, or to make sure that they just double-check and make sure your plan is looking great. And they may have some ideas that can help you maximize all the benefits you got. Check out danwhiteandassociates.com on the web. That's danwhiteandassociates.com on the web.
Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Football season comes to a close. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are no longer the reigning Super Bowl champions as of last night when the Seattle Seahawks took home the Lombardi Trophy, a 29-13 win over the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60. Kenneth Walker named the MVP, the first running back since 1998 to get that award. And now the NFL offseason begins fully as the Eagles try and find their way back. We'll keep you updated as they continue to fill out the rest of their coaching staff and begin to look at additional roster moves. The Sixers, they're taking center stage alongside the Flyers, who will come back from the Olympic break on February 25th. The Sixers still playing basketball right now, and they took down the Suns on Saturday. They've had a nice, strong West Coast swing. They have their final game of that road trip tonight at 10 p.m. in Portland against the Trailblazers. You can hear that game live right here on The Fanatic. Tyrese Maxey has already been named an All-Star starter, but with All-Star weekend coming up in just a couple of days, it was announced over the weekend that he'll also be participating in the three-point competition. Sixers have 2 more games till they hit the break. This update is brought to you by Uber Eats. You hungry? Good thing Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at Las Galas. From now until March 31st, get a buy one, get one free deal on Rigatoni Vodka on the app. Order now only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
It is 9:30 on this Monday morning. Saw Johnny Marks and Ray Dunn during the commercial break. Middays with Marks comes your way at 10 o'clock today. By the way, congratulations to Drake May. Even though he's been getting clowned a lot today, Drake May made history yesterday, Johnny. I know you're going to love this. Drake May, most yards in a single quarter in Super Bowl history. He finished with 295 passing yards. You know how many he had in the fourth quarter alone?
Probably like
240?
235.
Oh, wow.
So history was made yesterday. So everybody's saying that Drake May didn't have a good game yesterday. He made history.
Oh, yeah. He had all the stats, I'll tell you he did. Stats.
235 yards in the fourth quarter.
That's great.
The first three quarters, we'll just ignore how he was playing.
Yeah, and they'll go, boy, but look at his numbers.
Drake Garbage Time May.
Yeah,
he does need a nickname.
Yeah.
Man,
it was garbage time.
You wonder what they have to be wondering today. What do we have in him?
I mean, he was the runner-up for MVP.
Which was a joke. I saw
a tweet. Remember in Step Brothers, the scene where they were doing the job interviews and Seth Rogen, they were wearing tuxedos,
yeah.
And he thought it was funny. And then at the end of the interview, after John C. Reilly farted because he thought it was going to be silent, he was like, you know what? Now the tuxedos are kind of bleeped up. Somebody put out a tweet saying, you know what? Drake May getting 23 votes is kind of bleeped up. Now, it's a regular season award, but a lot of people pointed out the schedule in which he played. Was he really deserving to be
He played the weakest
MVP?
He played the weakest schedule ever for a conference champion. Ever.
Now, what do you do? Like, if you're New England, here's the thing. This isn't a J.J. McCarthy, Sam Darnold, right? Like, they don't have a backup that is intriguing that could be their starting quarterback moving forward. They're not going to make a trade.
No, they believe in Drake May.
Yeah, it's his third year, right? And they have the fifth-year option on him.
Yeah.
They're not going to pick it up because franchise quarterbacks now. But this is the prove-it year. Like, are we going to pay this guy or are we going to move on? And I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to pay him because everybody pays everybody now at the quarterback position.
Yeah. And look, he got to a Super Bowl. He has done more than what a lot of quarterbacks got paid for. Right, like guys like Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa. He got to the Super Bowl.
His team has.
Do you believe in the whole logo thing? Like, remember the colors and the logos for the Super Bowl thing?
No,
not really.
You don't like how that? Well, it has held quite often, where colors of teams are used in it. Look at the L.A. Super Bowl logo.
I know. It looks like an eagle. I saw it.
I think it looks like an eagle thing, Connor. If you haven't seen it,
ooh.
It's supposed to be waves, but it looks a lot like it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Looks like orangey sky. It's a, little
Hey, they're due every other year.
Yeah, exactly. Every other year. Now, could they have gotten to the Super Bowl if Micah Parsons was on their team?
Can he call an offense?
Per him.
Yeah, per Micah Parsons.
So we played you the clip
and
from
nobody else.
We played you the clip from A.J. Brown earlier in the show. Philadelphia's his home, and he thought KP did a tremendous job this past year. Micah Parsons decided to tell A.J. Brown, and of course the microphone that was capturing everything, that there was almost a deal in place. Now, look, there was reports that the Eagles were one of the two teams.
Oh, no, they were definitely in the mix.
It was Packers and Eagles trying to get Micah Parsons, and eventually Jera said, I would never have traded him to Philadelphia. But could they have made a deal if a really big-name Eagle was involved? This was per Micah Parsons.
You can hear it still there. So to be honest with you, bro, it was very close. Okay. It was very close. Eagles, before the Jalen Phillips, before all them, it was me. Yeah. It was me. And I was really about to come, but there was one person that I had to play with that if he was gone, I did not want to be there. And that was Jalen Carter. They wanted a D tackle. Yeah. And they wanted to trade me plus some picks. I mean, I don't really care about the picks, but I'm coming to play next to JC. You feel me? Like, crazy. Yeah, like so. Sorry, Cowboys fans. It almost it really almost happened. Talk about beef.
I can tell you just two people talking to that is complete fiction. Complete fiction.
Now, maybe the Cowboys asked.
the Eagles were never going to trade him in a deal. Eagles would have traded Jordan Davis in a deal. They wanted a D tackle. They would have traded Jordan Davis in a deal.
Yeah.
But
I
they were not
I don't
trading.
think trading Jalen Carter has crossed their
They
mind.
weren't trading
at all.
Jalen Carter. And more importantly, he wasn't getting a say in it. What the Eagles offered. Like, they weren't going, hey, Micah, we got a deal here. Look, would you come to the Eagles? All they would ask him is, would you come to the Eagles and would you sign a contract with the Eagles? They're not going to. And more importantly, he's not getting a say in what the Eagles do with their roster. For God's sakes. Jordan Davis, though, he would have been probably in any package.
What I would have guessed, though, because the Eagles were in, is that if Jerry Jones is true on his word, hey, I wasn't trading him to Philly, you counter that interest by saying, give us your best defensive player.
Look, I think maybe Dallas said we'd do it if you give us Jalen Carter.
Good night. Goodbye.
And I think that quickly ended the phone call.
Exactly.
Howie Roseman manipulated his cap and did all of his setup to be able to pay Jalen Carter.
Right.
So they weren't doing that. He didn't do that to take a guy with far more mileage on him to be able to go do that. They weren't doing that. No. And all the injuries now? No.
That was per Micah Parsons.
I understand. Yeah, Micah Parsons reporting on that Micah Parsons stuff.
By the way, I completely forgot about this man because his season was forgettable. I don't even
What's
know.
that?
I don't know why he played in the NFL anymore, other than obviously money. Do you feel bad for Tyler Lockett?
Where'd he go? Vegas?
Vegas and Tennessee.
Did he? But he was told to leave, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I thought he was told to leave.
No, I'm just saying. Do you feel bad that Tyler Lockett just put out a tweet? Congrats, Seahawks. Congrats, Hawks Nation. They win the Super Bowl. You know, that was his entire career with Seattle.
Did he get one back in the day?
Yeah,
with them?
20.
Yeah, he was part of that team, wasn't he?
He was with Seattle. 2015 was his rookie year.
Yeah, so then I don't.
So he got at least one, right?
Yeah, so I don't feel bad for him.
Well, 14 was the first, wasn't it?
Oh, then maybe
No,
he
he
never
missed. He may have missed
Wait,
the
so
first
did
one.
he never win?
If
He
he
may have
doesn't have a
missed.
ring, I feel awful for the guy.
Yeah, I mean, he may have missed. He may have gone to the loss. He may have been part of the loss to the Patriots.
Oh my God, he never won.
Yeah, he was part of
So
the,
he
his
was
first year. He was part of the
He
loss.
was a rookie the year after they win, and then the year he leaves, they win a Super Bowl.
By the way, Zach Berman, and I had a couple people here saying to me that Zach Berman, you know, like, yeah, look at that. You guys trying to get the Zach Berman and on this morning talk about the rumor mill with A.J. Brown. Like there's some bidding war that's going to go on about A.J. Brown. Just watch. There will be a bidding war for A.J. Brown of whether Howie Roseman takes them up on the offer.
Yeah, he might not get traded.
But there is absolutely going to be, at minimum, 3 AFC teams, and there is no way Howie is going to let A.J. Brown haunt them in the NFC. So there's no way he's going to the NFC. If A.J. Brown went anywhere, he's not letting him haunt them in the NFC. He's not going to put him somewhere where he could block. Could you see if he let A.J. walk somewhere or traded him somewhere, and then A.J. blocks them from going to a Super Bowl? He'll take the chance and go, well, they got a 1 in 16 chance of not seeing him in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Baltimore, Buffalo will absolutely be in the mix for him, and New England too. If they put him on the trade block, that is going to be a knife fight by those 3 clubs. That could be great. Good clubs.
Good clubs.
They're very good clubs.
You guys are going to get a good club limit in a second.
They're going to
No,
be.
I'm
They
sorry
are.
that you still believe Dave Dombrowski has vision.
You believe he
That's
has
not
vision.
my fault. It's not my fault. You're being duped.
The minute you stop doing that.
by the Pobo.
Yes, the
You
minute
get
you
duped,
stop.
bro.
Yeah,
Every
like
day
it's
you
not
get
duped
duped.
by the
Good clubs
Popo.
in here.
Yes.
You get duped. All right, one other note from the Super Bowl yesterday. My God, did Will Campbell have a bad day?
Oof.
Will Campbell was the left tackle for the New England Patriots
And they
yesterday.
kept showcasing it.
He, per Next Gen Stats, attributed to 14 pressures allowed. 14. And he was jumping. There were false starts because he was just getting knocked over.
He can't. It's one of those games where you say to yourself, can he come back?
And Collinsworth pointed out, like, the bull rush was, like, his number one issue this year.
He got pushed back 3 times into where his quarterback, one time it knocked him.
Yeah.
That led to a sack. And the other 2 times, he had to scramble out of the pocket to avoid being hit by him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's a rookie, so
Yeah, but can you go with him being back?
I would think so. Wasn't he a first-round pick?
Yeah, but he's that bad.
Yeah,
He's that.
Yeah,
he
but
was
you made a
fourth,
Super
he was
Bowl with him.
fourth overall.
He's getting tossed like a rag doll yesterday. That was a bad performance.
By the way, he did not speak after the game.
See, that's bad too. Come on, kid.
He was a fourth overall pick.
Somebody's got to take him by the lapels and go on.
Well, I'm sure he'll speak at locker, because they have a clean out day.
Yeah, but you still go and you stand up and you do it.
I know.
One of the veterans should say, "Hey, dude,
Rough day for the Rook.
yeah, it's fine."
What we got on the
Talk.
text line there, Connor?
All right, we have a lot of people checking in on their words for the Philadelphia Eagles. And Chris from Harleysville says, right now, my one word is relaxed. Hearing the Eagles players during their interviews this past week makes me relaxed about people coming back and being motivated to reclaim their title.
Why would you not be? I'm going to ask you this: why would you not be motivated at 4-0, leaving Tampa to go win another ring as the defending champ? Why would you choose that moment to pull the pin on the grenade and throw it in the middle of the team?
I'm also. Who are the other players? Like
nobody else was.
Mailata spoke, but he was in tears.
Right.
Like that didn't.
Like
that didn't make me feel better.
Why did it make you feel better? They're like, well, we're hoping things are going to be good.
Hey, same. That's why I'm optimistic.
I mean, man.
I didn't realize that I was like the outlier today. Most of our text messages in this exercise, one word that tells you about your emotions right now, describes your emotions. I said optimistic.
There you go.
Man, I'm the crazy one. All right, coming up next. Mentioned it earlier. If you missed it, I'll tell you that there is another national media member saying not to count out the Phillies. It's a good club.
Good club.
Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. All right. You want to know why betting the winter games on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge makes sense? Well, from game lines to medal counts to finding your angle in the events you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. Curling matches, oh boy, they start out slow, and somehow they get tense and fast. Speed skating, Johnny, decided by inches, and of course, probably what we will care about the most, hockey. And you got to ride with Team USA, all right? Even if you don't think that they're going to win, you got to have country pride.
Donating money?
You got to have country pride. USA, baby.
Make a donation. I'll cover your bet.
Or you can bet on Canada. Anyways, hockey games are so much more exciting during the Olympics as well. FanDuel, just play your game. You got to be 21 plus. President of Pennsylvania. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
From the city that demands the
It is 9:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Phillies have a good club. Are we almost at the mark today?
You're way over.
Well, you don't listen to Unfiltered then.
Yeah, they play the
oh my gosh.
Yeah, they play
love
the drop.
And I laugh. You know what's funny is though I laugh every time.
Yeah, because
I laugh every
so
time
you don't
Bill
cry.
does it. I laugh it because that's the way it works.
So Buster Olney and Jeff Passan responded to a couple of questions on ESPN.com. And one of the questions was, the Yankees and Phillies decided to run it back with mostly the same team as a year ago. What does it mean for their World Series chances? So here's what they wrote. Here's what Buster wrote. With both teams, so much depends on players returning from major injuries, in particular the Yankees with Garrett Cole and Luis Gil, and the Phillies with Zach Wheeler. It's easy to forget that the Yankees tied the Blue Jays for the most wins in the AL last year, and the Phillies were the team that the Dodgers feared the most in the march through the National League playoffs. But generally, the rosters of these two teams are older and probably more susceptible to injury. It's another thing that we don't talk about much. Bryce Harper's back's not getting any better with the violent swing that he has.
Yep.
Passing. I get the fervor in New York and Philadelphia. When a team doesn't reach the World Series, let alone win it, changes standard operating procedure. And yet Buster's point about both teams being quite good is salient. Different is different. It isn't always better. And what the Yankees and Phillies have right now remains quite good. Is it enough? Nobody knows. He goes on to say that outside of the Dodgers, the Phillies have as strong of a chance of winning as anybody. And he mentions Justin Crawford and Aiden Miller. I am not about to say that Justin Crawford is the reason why they beat the Dodgers.
You mean the guy that they had no faith to call up last year to help the worst outfield of any playoff team?
And Aiden Miller, I'm excited for both these guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm so excited to see who Justin Crawford is and who Aiden Miller is. But am I really about to say that, oh man, if they played, let's say they faced each other and everything's the same, tight games, Aiden Miller and Justin Crawford are the reason why they beat the Dodgers. I'm not there.
You can't be there.
No, that's crazy to say about guys that haven't played Major League Baseball yet.
And when we talk some Phillies later in the week, I have some questions about the whole Aiden Miller thing that just confused me. There's a lot that confuses me about the Phillies plan.
Yeah. The Phillies are a confusing bunch.
They say one thing and do another and then don't really explain their actions really well. They really don't.
Connor,
I mean, how many national guys have to say where the thought process should be, or local guys with this team before this fan base softens a little bit? I don't expect the fan base to soften. And if you're where you are on the Phillies and you don't want to move off that, I understand why you've got there, and you have every right to be in that spot.
I got something for Connor. You know what just snapped on your leg? And it's beautiful. The bear trap.
Oh.
It just snapped on your leg.
Okay.
Just remember that comment. That how many national guys have to say something for the local fans to start listening? Connor just stepped in it.
Uh-oh.
The bear trap went off. Dork Boy did some research over the weekend about what all the national guys told you about the 2024 Phillies and the 2025 Phillies and what the local fans knew about them. And I'm going to ask you tomorrow who was right. So we'll find out. Who knows more?
Yeah, that's not
the
what
local fans or the national. These national guys, they don't have a good track record on the Phillies.
That's not what I'm arguing.
Well, Bob Nightingale did say other than the postseason.
Well, that's great. Yeah, Bob, we don't give a flip, Bob, about winning regular season games, Bob.
Postseason.
Oh, yeah, other than that, the national guys will sit here and polish the apple. I'll use a better term. For the Philadelphia Phillies and for Dave Dombrowski, and they don't live here, they don't root for this team, they don't live and die with it, and they will try to convince you that what you know about them isn't true. And they did it before 24, they did it before 25, and they're doing it again before 26.
That's not at all what they're doing. How many of them have told you the Phillies are going to win the World Series?
They didn't necessarily say that in 24 and 25, but they're telling you how how the Phillies are right there, and
they are right there.
Okay,
it's an undeniable factor right there. Now the hill that they can't get over may be an insurmountable one, and I'm not telling you that's wrong, But all I'm saying is that there's a big portion of this fan base that hates this team, and I'm just saying, like, all the guys that are telling you, hey, they're right there.
It's not that I hate the team.
No,
but
it's
I
not
love
they-
them
no.
so much, but they just continue to.
They love the team.
provide
They
pain.
love the team because they care that much, and they realize that being told the same crap over and over again isn't viable.
No one's willing to admit how baseball works in the postseason. That's the emotional response. There's nothing I can do to convince you guys otherwise.
Because this team doesn't have postseason players. This team does not have postseason players, and there is enough documented evidence over and over again.
Like Alec Boehm straight up saying he gets tight.
Their players, the makeup of their players, for the vast majority of them, isn't guys you're going to be counting on.
I mean, they played in the World Series, and they
did.
The
They had
NLCS.
6 really good weeks of baseball in 2022.
Well, hopefully they have another 6 great weeks of
Let's
baseball
hope.
coming up.
Let's hope they can do that. For us.
Did you guys see what went down in the Alabama-Auburn basketball game over the weekend?
No.
I'm surprised because you didn't see it, so I'm not surprised you didn't have it in today's headlines. Do you guys remember the name Charles Bediako? He made headlines earlier this year.
Yeah, he's the one who played in the G League, right?
Yes, and went back to college.
Okay.
And so Alabama, he plays for Alabama. They were in Auburn, so you got an SEC matchup, even though it's basketball, not the same as football, but still SEC matchup. They were chanting G League dropout while he was at the free throw line.
And what did he do?
He made the free throw.
Okay.
But that is a great chant. Because you're not cursing the guy out.
No.
Right? Like the TV, the broadcasters don't have to apologize for what's being said behind the scenes.
Right.
But G League dropout, that is an all-time creative chant.
Yeah.
I give the Auburn kids a lot of credit for it. Whoever came up with that one, I give them credit.
Pretty darn good.
Believe me.
All right, what do we got on
Not
the
like
text?
there's like an academic all-stars at Auburn. So that's pretty good that someone came up with it.
I don't know.
I'm going to give him credit.
So we have a texter that checks in that says, I'm pessimistically optimistic about the Eagles. Make of that what you will. It seems
Well, that's
very
not one word.
conflicted.
That's not
Yeah.
one word. Yeah, it's not one word.
I don't really know how to respond to that.
Yeah, it's not. That's contradictory.
Which puts them kind of where we're at, John,
Yeah.
I think.
I think it's where we're at.
I don't really know.
Your word is slightly more optimistic. I'm anxious, but I don't consider it negative, but it's certainly not positive. Anxious, to me, the way the context I'm using it is not positive, but it's certainly, I don't mean it to be negative. I just mean it to be, I love knowing what's going on. And
Yeah.
I don't feel that way.
By the way, we never talked about how Matt Collins arrived to the game yesterday.
Do we have to?
Seriously, do we have to give him more attention?
That's all he wants, baby.
It's all he wants.
He just scored a touchdown
It's
yesterday.
all. It's all
Good
he
work.
wants. It's all he needs.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And
It's-
he's a weird dude.
It's all he wants.
Yeah, I'm
it's all he
glad
needs.
I'm glad he doesn't play here anymore.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, that'll do it. We got Middays with Marks coming your way next. Sean Brace, I believe, in the house, typically on Mondays. So Middays with Marks, Johnny Marks, already done. Sean Brace, that comes your way next. Unfiltered, of course, at 2 o'clock. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Before you know it, the new league year will be back. And we'll be talking more and more about the rumors of A.J. Brown. Everybody have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow here on The Fanatic.